Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Wuhun. Sign in with the Holy Dragon of Light at the beginning. Chapter 61. This formation is too stupid. Fatty attacks in the air. Su Xiao said. Ma Hongjun's third soul ring lit up, and a pair of wings made of flames appeared behind him. The third soul skill, Phoenix Wings Sky Soar. Then Ma Hongjun immediately launched an attack, and the soul power emitted by the first soul ring merged into his body. The first soul skill, Phoenix Fire Wire. Although the defense of the elephant armored team is amazing, its range is limited, and there is a huge flaw above their heads. Even if you use a shield to resist it, you can't take care of the front. Change the formation, Hu Yanli commanded. 3 of them raised the diamond shields in their hands to resist Ma Hongjun's flames, while the 4 people continued to form a defense on the front. Although this could take care of both head and feet, it exposed greater flaws. Yuer, Tailong, prepare to attack, still protect Oscar. Zuching looks for an opportunity to eliminate one of them. Su Xiao naturally couldn't give up this excellent opportunity. Holy Light Dragon Transformation. Su Xiao condensed 2 golden machine crossbows in her hands. At the same time, Nangong Yu and Tai Long also completed the increase in soul skills and suddenly charged forward. The first soul skill, Holy Light Dragon Claw. The 2 golden machine crossbows instantly shot out a shower of golden arrows that filled the sky. Although Su Xiao's attack dispersed the power of the soul skill, the penetrating effect of the Holy Light Dragon Claw still existed. The rain of arrows kept passing through the diamond shields of the elephant armored team. Although the power of the Holy Light Dragon Claw was not strong, it was enough to cover Nangong Yu and Tai Long's close approach. The rain of arrows that kept hitting the elephant armored team had already made their defenses looser. With Nangong Yu's astonishing strength, he shattered 2 diamond shields with 2 consecutive punches. Tai Lung also took the opportunity to take action. The strength of the powerful gorilla who increased his strength through soul skills should not be underestimated. After a full blow, the formation of the elephant armor team was directly broken up, and the 7 diamond mammoths that were originally lined up in a dense formation spread out. Zhu Zuching, who had been waiting and watching, also seized the opportunity and launched an attack on a lone elephant member. Netherworld Slash. Zhu Zuching's 1,000-year soul ring shone brightly, and the member of the elephant armor team had no time to react before he was already out of bounds, and the scene instantly became 7-on-6. Seeking Death. As Hu Yanli roared, a golden helmet suddenly appeared on his head, like the head of a golden mammoth. Soul Bone. This is the trump card of the elephant armor sect. You really look down on us, Shrek. I thought you were so strong. Su Xiao said sarcastically. Su Xiao stepped on the ghost shadow and rushed to the front of the team. He waved his hand and signaled Nangong Yu, Zhu Zuching and Tai Long to withdraw from the lineup. Zhu Zuching and Tai Long looked at each other, a little worried about Su Xiao, but Nangong Yu breathed out and said, "Little Su, I'll give you 10 seconds. If you don't deal with these greasy guys, I will ignore them for the whole day, you." Su Xiao smiled slightly and said, "No problem, let's start timing now." Zhu Zuching and Tai Long knew Su Xiao's strength, and even if Tianxiang Huiyanzhen ended up personally, they might not be able to do anything to him, let alone the remaining 6 members of the elephant armor sect. 10. Nangong Yu started counting down. Su Xiao's 10,000-year soul ring exuded majestic soul power, attracting cheers from the crowd. 9. Hu Yanli heard clearly the conversation between Su Xiao and Nangong Yu. Although it would not cause any actual harm, it was extremely insulting to the Shijia sect. 8. Su Xiao's soul power began to operate, and Hu Yanli and the other 5 people naturally could not sit still and wait for death. They had to prevent him from releasing his 10,000-year soul skill. 7. Although the Diamond Mammoth Soul Masters are among the top in strength and defense, they lack flexibility and speed as their shortcoming. It takes at least 2 seconds to get close to Su Xiao. 6. 5. Hu Yanli and others finally got close to Su Xiao. They had used all their soul skills to increase their own strength. The 6 of them raised their fists and smashed them at Su Xiao at the same time. 4. When there was no time to think, Su Xiao slowly raised his right hand, and there was a light golden halo filling it. And there was a faint sound of confusion. 3. Hold head high. A dragon roar resounded through the soul fighting arena, and then a golden divine dragon was seen twisting a few times in Su Xiao's hand. 2. Just when the attack of Hu Yanli and the 6 men was about to hit Su Xiao, the golden dragon flew out, its body surged, and instantly shook the elephant team away. 1. The Dragon King breaks the evil rift and dominates the world. The golden divine dragon roared and passed by the 6 members of the elephant armor team. The powerful dragon claws directly knocked them out of the field, leaving 5 blood marks on their chests. As the blood flowed out, golden light particles were faintly visible. The member of the elephant armor sect who was first eliminated by Zhu Zuqing couldn't help but feel lucky. Now that Hu Yanli and 6 others were seriously injured, it would be difficult for them to have a chance to participate in subsequent competitions. Shrek Academy wins, the referee announced excitedly. Su Xiao's attack once again shocked the entire audience, almost defeating the powerful elephant team on his own. You know, on the eve of the competition, Tianxiang Huiyanjun made harsh words. The Shangjia sect's goal was to be in the top 3, and now they may be eliminated early. At the VIP table, Platinum Bishop Solace glared at Hu Yanjun, snorted coldly and left. Tiando Emperor Shui Yi and Ning Fengji both showed satisfied smiles. When it was over, Su Xiao took Nangong Yu's hand and said coquettishly, "Yuer, why don't you praise me?" Nangong Yu was happy for Su Xiao, but pretended to be disdainful and said, "You even use Zheng Lintianja, just wait to be scolded by the master. You can't blame me for this. The elephant armor sect likes to be the licking dog of Wuhun Palace. Now it's better. Their younger generation are all trembling when they look at me. They wish they could call me Big Brother. I don't see how they can follow Wuhun Palace." Seoul Palace Huddle, Su Xiao explained. These words were also heard by Tang San and Yu Xiaoging. Tang San asked doubtfully, "Then how did you get rid of the Zhenlin Tianxia you left in Du Gubo's body?" Old Poison has a very strong mental power, and Zhenlin Tianxia's influence on him is average. Moreover, when you helped him detoxify Tang San, Old Poison's soul power increased by another level. Of course he can easily undo my Zhenlin Tianxia. Although Su Xiao revealed a trump card, Yu Xiaoging was not worried. After all, reigning the world is a secret skill inherited by the blue electric Tyrannosaurus family. Even if it is seen by outsiders, they may not be able to know it. They can only regard it as Su Xiao's 10,000-year soul skill, the deterrence brought about. "Ah Xiao, this was a good battle, but the cards you can show in the qualifiers are limited to this. The control team led by Xiao San will participate in the next games," Yu Xiaoging said. Su Xiao understood Yu Xiaoging's intention and naturally agreed. However, he seemed to feel that there was a pair of eyes staring at him in the dark, a kind of evil person that he had never felt before. Could it be that Wuhun Palace wants to secretly do harm to me? Su Xiao thought to himself. But no matter what, Su Xiao became more and more alert from this moment on, and was also protecting other people in Shrek. After the second round of competition, Su Xiao began to practice hard while resting. The competition was a good opportunity to increase the speed of his soul power training. The higher the soul power, the greater the advantage would naturally be. But Nangong Yu has to participate in the competition all the time. Su Xiao goes to watch the competition every day, but he does not go to the competition scene with Shrek, he always acts alone. Because he had always been wary of Wuhun Palace, and he was so high profile, if Wuhun Palace went out of its way and directly targeted the entire Shrek Academy, if the rescue was not timely, it would probably harm Tang San and the others. On the 7th day of the competition, Su Xiao went to the competition site alone, when he saw the announcement issued by the Tiando Empire on the wall. Core members of 3 teams have committed suicide, rumors are spreading in Tiando City, and the Tiando Empire promises to investigate and find a result. Su Xiao didn't take this matter to heart. On his way to the arena, he suddenly stopped. There's a problem. Su Xiao felt a sense of fear coming over her face. At this moment, the surrounding roads and shops began to disappear, showing their original appearance. Su Xiao was surprised to find that he was no longer in Tiando City, but seemed to be in a forest outside the city. "You can see through my second soul skill. Boy, you really have some attainments in mental power." A man walked out of the woods with a sinister smile that made people shudder. "Are you from Wuhun Palace?" Su Xiao asked warily. "Ha ha," Xin Yan sneered. "Since you are about to die, I will let you die clearly. Do you understand this?" When Xin Yan took out a badge, Su Xiao felt a little familiar and asked tentatively, Kangwei College. Xin Yan didn't answer. He released a large amount of soul power and instantly enveloped Su Xiao. Insult Kangwei Academy and die in pain under my remnant dream martial spirit. At this moment, Su Xiao understood that the student suicides in Tiando City were all caused by Xin Yan. But a beam of black light from Xin Yan shot into Su Xiao's head, and he fainted instantly. His expression was hideous and terrifying, and his whole body was trembling. At this time, Su Xiao saw various horrific scenes, including the past life and this life, and finally fell on Nangong Yu. She was crying and wanted to stop Su Xiao from dying. It's all fake. Su Xiao's eyes burst out with golden light, and he broke free from the illusion created in those years. This is impossible. No matter how strong your mental power is, you can't reach this point. Xin Yan looked at Su Xiao in surprise. This is the Tang sect's secret skill, the purple demon eye, and the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus family's secret skill that dominates the world. Old man, you are still far from it. Su Xiao said. So what if you break free from the illusion? Even if you are gifted as a monster, you are just a soul sect, and you still have to die in my hands. At this time, 7 soul rings rose from Xin Yan's feet. He was a soul saint. Contra will kneel down when he sees me. Who do you think you are? Die. I saw Su Xiao raising his left hand, and blood-colored mist continued to condense, and finally turned into a small blood-red dragon and got into the palm of his hand. Su Xiao was possessed by Wuhun, and the 4 soul rings gradually transferred from around his body to his left hand. The majestic soul power exploded instantly, causing the surrounding century-old trees to shake. Fusion ring. Su Xiao's 4 soul rings simultaneously erupted with powerful soul power and merged into his left hand. The blood-colored mist that was originally small immediately became thicker. Dragonization. Su Xiao's left hand was covered with a layer of pale golden dragon scales, but it still turned blood-red under the blood-colored mist. Dragon Claw. A bloody dragon claw grabbed Xin Yan. His own attack methods were very limited. Facing Su Xiao's full-strength dragon god claw, he could only choose passive defense. He had observed the power of Su Xiao's 4th soul skill, and even a 10,000-year soul ring was not enough to break through his defense. But what Su Xiao used was not a soul skill at all, but a combat skill inherited from the ancient dragon god, which was enough to annihilate Xin Yan Fein Yan. The absolute deterrence inherited from the dragon god made Xin Yan completely collapse. This was something more terrifying than his nightmare. Only the sound of shattering was heard, and the time was still smashed into powder, leaving only a piece of luminous thing in place. Su Xiao gasped for air. His soul power was already exhausted. He slowly walked to the broken Xin Yan, picked up the thing, and exclaimed, "Is this a soul bone?" Su Xiao used her remaining strength to bury the scum covered with blood foam, and then called Xiaobai out from the Rui Beibao bracelet. Although Xiaobai was in the dormant period at this time, seeing Su Xiao so tired, he instantly became energetic and kept making worried calls, asking him what was wrong. Su Xiao patted Xiaobai's back comfortingly and said, "Xiaobai, carry me back to Tiando City. My soul power is exhausted." Xiaobai understood Su Xiao's request and lay down to let Su Xiao climb up as easily as possible. Then, one by one, they slowly returned to Tiando City. When he was about to arrive at the gate of Tiando City, Su Xiao's soul power had partially recovered, so he took back Xiaobai's Rui 100 treasure bracelet and returned to Shrek Academy. Seeing Su Xiao, who was weak, Nangong Yu and Tang San immediately helped him sit down and asked, "What happened?" Su Xiao did not answer, but glanced at Yu Xiaogang, forced out a smile and said, "Yuer, Xiaosan, I'm fine. You go out first. I have something to tell the teacher." Nangong Yu and Tang San were both very worried, but they couldn't defeat Su Xiao and had no choice but to go out and give the room to Su Xiao and Yu Xiaogang. "A Xiao, was it Wuhun Palace that attacked you?" Yu Xiaogang asked. Before, he was worried that Su Xiao was too showy and his show would be destroyed by Lin Feng, and Wuhun Palace would most likely take action against Su Xiao. Su Xiao shook his head, handed the head soul bone obtained from Xin Yan to Yu Xiaogang, and told him the cause and effect. Yu Xiaogang became more and more palpitated when he listened to Su Xiao's story. He did not expect that Kangwei College would use such shameless and despicable methods. "I will report Kangwei Academy to the Tiando royal family, but please don't make any announcement about this matter, Xiao." After all, you personally killed Xinyan, so you should keep this head soul bone and don't rush to absorb it. If you leave it to anyone, if it is discovered by Kangwei Academy, we will be controlled by others. Quote. Lydia Su nodded in agreement. Then Yu Xiaogang left the room and asked Nangong Yu and Tang San to come in and take care of Su Xiao. After a battle with Xinyan, Su Xiao realized the strength of his dragon god claw, which was enough to kill the 69th peak soul emperor with one full blow. Although Xinyan was a soul saint, his defense was very poor. He could only defeat the enemy through underworld means such as nightmares. I am afraid that the team sent by Kangwei Academy this time was also a martial spirit that focused on mental attacks. In the following games, since Su Xiao was still resting, the control team led by Tang San participated and won 11 consecutive games. Your opponent in the next game is Blazing Academy, one of the 5 Element Academies. Yu Xiaogang announced. 5 Elements Academy. This is the first time everyone has heard of it. Flanders explained. The 5 Elements Academy includes Thunder, Divine Wind, Sky Water, Blazing Fire, and the Elephant Academy that was defeated by you. The Academy of 5 Elements has always been regarded as the favorite to advance. This match against the Academy of Blazing Fire is not easy. Zhao Wuji sighed. Ma Hongjun snorted lightly and said disdainfully, I heard that all the members of Blazing Fire are fire attribute soul masters. I have never been more afraid of anyone than Brother Huo Jun. Fat man, when did you become more arrogant than me? Su Xiao's voice sounded behind Ma Hongjun. Ma Hongjun only felt a chill running down his spine. He took a step back and said flatteringly, with Brother Ah Xiao here, the little flame will be blown out in one breath. Ha ha ha, Ma Hongjun was teased by Su Xiao, and laughter echoed in the room. The opponents that Shrek had won consecutively with Tang San as the core of control were not very strong teams. Now facing a strong enemy, with Su Xiao and Tang San taking charge at the same time, Shrek can be said to be a sure winner. Compared to Su Xiao, Tang San has more commanding ability, and Yu Xiaogang also intends to train him, saying, Xiao San, you can arrange the lineup and tactics for the battle against Blazing Fire. Tang San thought for a moment and said, in this match, the Onslaught team will come on stage, and I will replace Fatty. Third brother, why? The fire of those guys from Chuo is definitely not as good as my Phoenix spirit. Ma Hongjun complained. It is precisely because it is also a fire attribute martial spirit that it is not conducive to the performance of your Phoenix martial spirit. You don't understand the principle that people of the same gender repel each other, right? Fatty, don't forget that my blue-silver grass has the effect of preventing fire. Tang San said. After hearing this, Ma Hongjun immediately recalled the scene in his mind that day when he was controlled by Tang San's blue-silver cage, but his flames could not burn the blue-silver grass no matter what. Now that I have said so, let me give you the opportunity to bully Chuo. Ma Hongjun said optimistically. Shrek's roster is confirmed. Su Xiao, Tang San, Nangong Yu, Oscar, Zhu Zuqing, Meng Yiren and Tai Long. The game is about to start, and the players from both sides enter the field. The 7 Blazing team members are all around 20 years old. According to the intelligence, there are 2 soul sects in the Blazing team, who are their captain and deputy captain. Captain Huo Wushwang, a 40-level attack-type fighting spirit sect and a martial spirit unicorn Tyrannosaurus, is recognized as a master among all participating teams. Vice Captain Huo Wu is a level 43 control-type fighting soul sect in Wuhun Hokage. Although she is a girl, she has the highest soul power in Blazing Academy, and the control-type soul master has always been the core soul of the team. The remaining 5 soul masters in Blazing Academy are 1 strong attack system soul master, the martial soul fire leopard, 2 agility attack system soul masters, both possessing the fire crane martial soul, 2 auxiliary system soul masters, 2 people also have the same martial spirit Mars. Xiao San, how do you play this game? Do you need me to get rid of them all? Su Xiao asked. Hearing that Su Xiao started to show off again, Tang San was inevitably a little embarrassed. Tang San said in a deep voice, Ah Xiao, I know you have this ability, but what the teacher means in this game is that he wants Zuqing, Yiren and Tailong to take more shots, with Nangongyu as a secondary attacker and Xiaoao as an assistant. What about the 2 of us? Su Xiao looked confused. Are you watching a show nearby? Tang San nodded helplessly. Teacher asked us to keep it safe. They can't withstand me. I can't withstand it anymore. You can turn the tide on your own. Su Xiao was startled for a moment and looked at Yu Xiaogang in the audience. He waved his hand, indicating that Su Xiao and Tang San would retreat to the end of the line, taking the same position as Oscar. At the same time, the game was about to begin, and the referee began to exaggerate the atmosphere while taking advantage of the cheers of the audience. Wow, Shrek Academy, the biggest dark horse in this competition, actually sent 2 students, Su Xiao and Tang San, who have 10,000-year soul rings at the same time. It seems that they attach great importance to the competition with Blazing Academy. No, Su Xiao and Tang San actually stood together with the auxiliary soul master Oscar. Does Shrek have any tactics? Let's stay tuned for this game. Shrek and the Blazing team members bowed and saluted, and the war was about to break out. The game begins. Following the referee's order, both sides released their martial arts spirits, and the light of the spirit rings shone throughout the venue. The soul power pressure released by both sides has begun an invisible contest. Obviously Shrek is slightly better. After all, even Tai Lung, who has the lowest soul power, has level 39. Both sides moved. As the captain, Huo Wushwang suddenly charged forward and led the Fire Leopard Spirit Master to attack Shrek. In Shrek's formation, Tai Lung is at the front, and he may have to face the attack from Blazing Fires to attack type Soul Masters alone. Mistress, I'd better cover you, after all, there are 2 of us missing. The pale golden soul power around Su Xiao gradually began to rise. Good. Tang San also realized that Team Blazing Fire was coming with a ferocious force. Once they were allowed to strike first, it would be difficult for Zhu Zuqing, Meng Yiren and Tai Long to launch an effective counterattack, and this actual combat training would be in vain. Holy Light Dragon Transformation. Su Xiao condensed a milky white giant crossbow with faint golden dragon patterns on it. As he drew the bow and shot an arrow, a pale golden dragon clung to the bowstring. The first soul skill, Holy Light Dragon Claw. The pale golden dragon was shot into the air by Su Xiao and stayed in the air for a moment. After a brief dragon roar, it turned into hundreds of golden lights and fell. The power of the Holy Light Dragon Claw has been dispersed into 100 parts, which is no longer enough to affect the battle situation, but it can play a certain role in harassment. Road of the Rock. Tai Long used soul skills to greatly increase his strength. With Su Xiao's cover, he could barely block Huo Wushwang's attack for the time being, and the 3 of them started fighting. Tai Long can't last 10 seconds, Xiaoao is ready to restore the big sausage and the exciting pink sausage. Su Xiao reminded. Oscar nodded in agreement, recited 2 different soul spells, and transformed into 2 sausages, one large and one small. The battle continued. The 2 Fire Crane Soul Masters from the Blazing Fire team bypassed Tai Long and went straight to Zhu Zuqing and Meng Yiren. The 2 Fire Crane Soul Masters released their fiery red wings and did not fly very high. Instead, they glided at low altitude and directly approached Zhu Zuqing and Meng Yiren. The second soul skill, 100 Claws of the Netherworld. Zhu Zuqing released his second soul skill. As an agility attack soul master, her speed was not slower than that of the Fire Crane brothers, and the gap in soul power allowed her to fight 1 against 2, buying time for Meng Yiren to release his soul skill. The third soul skill, Dragnet. The soul power released by Meng Yiren's 1000-year soul ring was divided into 4 channels under her control, and the targets were Huo Wushwang, Fire Leopard and 2 flamingos. A deep purple snake-shaped magic circle appeared under the feet of the 4 people. By the time they reacted, they had been bitten by the poisonous snake with its huge mouth. Although the power was limited, it could release poison. Huo Wushwang and others released their soul power to deal with it, and at the same time, they were wary of attacks from Tai Long and Zhu Zuqing. Deal with this powerful gorilla first. Huo Wushwang commanded. Huo Wushwang's second soul ring lit up, and the surface of his skin was covered with a layer of flame scales. Not only did it break Meng Yiren's draft and earth net, it also greatly increased his attack power. At the same time, the 2 auxiliary soul masters of the Blazing Fire team released their Mars martial souls. The third soul skill, Fire Rain and Meteor. 4 burning sparks were injected into their bodies, which greatly increased the fire attribute soul power of the 4 Blazing Fire people. The red light on Huo Wushwang's body rose sharply. He raised his right fist, and a flame Tyrannosaurus appeared and hit Tai Long's chest. There was a loud noise, and Tailong's body shook. He felt the burning pain of fire in his chest, and his expression was ferocious. Huo Wushwang was far ahead of him in terms of strength and soul power. After the other fire leopard spirit master got the boost, he wanted to strike while the iron was hot and give Tai Lung a hard blow to eliminate him directly. But Tai Lung's huge figure, which was originally unsteady on his feet, suddenly began to fall back. The first soul skill, Entanglement, superimposed to control the crane and capture the dragon. Tang San released the blue-silver grass and wrapped it around Tailong's waist, brought him directly back to the team, and fed him a big recovery sausage. His soul power and injuries were recovering quickly. Huo Wushwang and Huo Bao felt a little disappointed, and casually turned their attack targets to Zhu Zuqing and Meng Yiren. Be careful, Tang San warned, releasing blue-silver grass to prepare for rescue at any time. The fourth soul skill, Netherworld Shadow Clone. Zhu Zuqing released her fourth soul skill. This was the Ghost Leopard's soul ring she had obtained, allowing her to use the soul skill of the Ghost Leopard's talent. I saw gray-black soul power flash past, and 3 Zhu Zuqing appeared on the spot. One of them was the main body and 2 were clones. The clone has 70% of the attack power of Zhu Zuqing's original body. The first soul skill, Snake Blade. Meng Yiren simultaneously released his first soul skill to stop Huo Wushwang, who had the strongest attack power. Zhu Zuqing, including 2 clones, fought with the Fire Crane brothers and the Fire Leopard, while Meng Yiren faced Huo Wushwang alone. With the increase of the 2 Martian auxiliary soul masters from Team Blazing Fire, the 4 Blazing Fire team members had enough soul power to deal with Meng Yiren's snake venom, and the 2 of them were at a disadvantage. Yuer, please help me and kick those 2 flamingos away, Su Xiao said coquettishly. Nangong Yu snorted disdainfully and asked, do you think of them now? Do you want to eliminate them directly? No need, just help Zuqing get out of trouble, Tang San said. Nangong Yu was a little disappointed and suddenly launched a sprint, targeting the Flamingo brothers in the sky. She lightly jumped in the air and paused for half a second. Then she twisted and kicked twice. The Flamingo brothers seemed to have been severely injured and flew out. Fortunately, they kept flying and would not be eliminated because of this. Mistweed, Oscar exclaimed. If I read it correctly, Senior Nangong didn't use soul skills to increase the power, right? Su Xiao nodded. Indeed, the power possessed by the Golden Dragon Spirit is already powerful enough to deal with the agility and attack Spirit Masters with average defense. If it is an auxiliary Spirit Master like Xiaoao, he will be kicked by Yuer. I'm afraid 7 or 8 ribs will be broken in my leg. Oscar swallowed in fear, and at the same time took this opportunity to throw hyperactive pink sausage at Zhu Zuqing and Meng Yiren. After the 2 of them ate it, they entered a state of excitement within 1 minute, and all attributes increased by 10%. The third soul skill, Netherworld Slash. After Zhu Zuqing's third soul skill was amplified, it was enough to deal with the Fire Leopard in front of him. Although the Fire Leopard tried his best to resist, he was still defeated by Zhu Zuqing and fell to the ground. The remaining 2 Zhu Zuqing clones took the opportunity to hit the target, and Fire Leopard was eliminated. The situation reversed, and Huo Wushwang faced the 2 soul sects, Zhu Zuqing and Meng Yiren, who were defeated. Brother, come back, Huo Wu shouted. Huo Wushwang fought and retreated, returning to the people of Blazing Fire. Shrek, do you look down on Kai Huo too much? Huo Wu pointed at Su Xiao and the others angrily. Su Xiao walked to the front of the team, spread her hands and said, then how can I respect you? Do you want me to personally eliminate Blaze within 10 seconds? Oh, no. You are not as good as those rough-skinned and fleshy elephants who are forbidden to fight and will eliminate you for up to 5 seconds. Quote. Facing Su Xiao's ridicule, everyone in Chuo was completely angered, but the majestic momentum Su Xiao exuded completely suppressed them. That 10,000-year-old soul ring was like a huge mountain, weighing them down. Even if you lose, Kai Huo must lose with dignity, Huo Wu said hysterically. Huo Wushwang led the Fire Crane brothers to attack Su Xiao, but the 2 Mars Soul Masters injected all the Mars into Huo Wu's body, greatly increasing her soul power. Su Xiao smiled slightly, stepped on the ghost shadow, and quickly retreated. Huo Wushwang and the Fire Crane brothers were seduced by him and went deep into the Shrek lineup. Fool, Zhu Zuqing and Tai Long, who had recovered their soul power, took action directly, and Meng Yiren's fourth soul ring quietly lit up. The fourth soul skill, Poisonous Fang Curse. Feeling that Meng Yiren's soul power was released, Zhu Zuqing and Tai Long chose to break away from the battle. Huo Wushwang and the Huohe brothers were instantly defeated. A dark purple venomous snake nearly 3 meters high appeared and swallowed the 3 people directly. This is Meng Yiren's strongest offensive soul skill. The disadvantage is that it requires the accumulation of soul power, so Su Xiao acts as a seduce, Zhu Zuqing and Tailong feign attack, and Meng Yiren is responsible for the full output. Huo Wushwang and Huohe brothers were defeated and eliminated from the field. The only 3 people left in the Blazing Fire team, the 2 Martian Soul Masters, are working hard to increase the fire dance. The fourth soul skill, Fire Dance Yaoyang. The original burning flame of Huowu has turned black, possessing more powerful energy than the red flame. Moreover, the aura exuded by Huowu has reached a level equivalent to that of a 50-level Soul King. What should I do? She's crazy. From about 5 meters away, Oscar could already feel the burning sensation from the flames. Su Xiao turned around and waved his hand and said, "Let's get out. We haven't given up yet, right?" This was the first time Oscar saw Su Xiao retreat. Su Xiao took Nangong Yu's hand and jumped off the stage, saying casually, "Just leave this situation to the mistress." Just as Su Xiao said, Tang San walked forward alone, and at the same time, the black-blue-silver grass completely enveloped him without any gaps. Black Flame, with Huowu reaching level 50, hit Tang San with all its strength, causing a loud noise in the arena. When the black flames dissipated, Tang San's blue-silver grass showed no sign of being burned. And Huowu has exhausted his soul power. Tang San took back the blue-silver grass, looked at Huowu unharmed and said, "Your soul power has been exhausted, Kai Huo has lost." "Why, your blue-silver grass should be afraid of fire?" Huowu asked unwillingly. At this time, Su Xiao in the audience suddenly shouted, "Don't you understand, Shaoxin's blue-silver grass is immune to fire." Huowu's eyes were full of resentment, but he fainted on the field because his soul power was exhausted. The remaining 2 auxiliary soul masters carried Huowu off the field, sighed and shook their heads, signaling to the referee to admit defeat. Shrek Academy wins. After defeating Blazing Academy, Shrek's opponent in the next round is Kangwei Academy. Teacher, try to choose someone with strong mental strength to play in the next game. Su Xiao suggested to Yu Xiaoging alone. Yu Xiaoging nodded in agreement. I have the same idea. At that time, he mainly focused on mental attacks, and his students should be the same. I think Kangwei Academy already knows that Xinyan died in your hands, a Xiao. You should be careful in the next game. Quote. On the day of the competition, Yu Xiaoging announced the roster for the match against Kangwei Academy: Su Xiao, Tang San, Xiao Wu, Meng Yiren, Dai Mubai, Zhu Zuqing and Oscar. Master, we have taught them a lesson about that rubbish Kangwei Academy before, so they shouldn't be so cautious, right? Ning Rongrong asked doubtfully. Yu Xiaoging did not explain. After all, once word spread that Su Xiao killed Xinyan, it would definitely cause quite a commotion. The game begins. The 7 people from Kangwei Academy released their martial spirits. At this time, everyone discovered that all the 7 people from Kangwei Academy were gem martial spirits. Martial Soul Fusion Skill, Shira Illusion. The martial spirits of the 7 people from Kangwei Academy released 7-color light, like a rainbow waterfall, directly covering Shrek's crowd. This is a mental attack, everyone, be careful. Su Xiao reminded. In the blink of an eye, everyone was shrouded in 7-color light, as if they were sinking into a nightmare, and the most fearful things in their hearts tortured them over and over again in their minds like fantasies. Purple demonic eyes. After experiencing the attack of the old age, Su Xiao directly cracked the Shira illusion. The captain of Kangwei Academy smiled sinisterly. You managed to break free so quickly. It seems that you were the one who killed Xinyan. If you hand over his 10,000-year-old head soul bone, I can make your death less painful. Please be clear-headed, you are the ones who are going to die now. Su Xiao counterattacked. In this case, don't blame me, just die in pain. A blood-red light appeared in his hand, like a sharp arrow. Psychic attack, Phantom Blade of Killing. You are far worse than mental attacks. Rule the world. A bright holy dragon appeared behind Su Xiao. After a dragon roar, the blood-red phantom blade of murderous consciousness directly turned into pieces. Then the Holy Dragon of Light roared and defeated all 7 people from Kangwei Academy, and the Jun Lintianja released by Su Xiao at this time was also a complete spiritual attack. Jun Lintianja will crazily destroy the 7 people in Kangwei Academy, which will completely destroy his consciousness. Although he will not become mentally retarded, he will become a cripple from then on. There is reincarnation in the way of heaven. No one will be spared by heaven. You are the disciples you trained over the years. You are all the same. After the 7 people from Kangwei Academy were eliminated, the control of Shira's illusion began to disappear. Tang San and others broke free one after another, and everyone's expressions were somewhat frightened. But their opponent, Kangwei Academy, had fallen unconscious. The colorful light curtain dispersed, and the audience and referee naturally saw the result. Shrek Academy, win. After the game, Yu Xiaogang looked at the mentally weak little monsters and confirmed his guess. The students of Kangwei College were indeed under the same mental attack as before. Su Xiao quietly explained to Yu Xiaogang what happened on the stage and the consequences for the students of Kangwei College. Yu Xiaogang suddenly frowned and looked at the VIP seats. Xiao, I'm afraid someone is going to cause trouble for us Shrek this time. Yu Xiaogang said thoughtfully. Flanders arranged for the depressed students to return to the academy to rest. Sure enough, after a while, Zhao Wuji said anxiously, someone from Wuhun Palace is here. Yu Xiaogang and Flanders looked at each other and decided to go meet Solace. At this time, Lydia Su also caught up. Xiao, what are you doing here? Xiaogang and I can handle the matter in Wuhun Palace. You go back first, Flanders said. Su Xiao shook her head and refused. Dean, I killed the person and did the thing. Solace must see me. Flanders couldn't compete with him. Yu Xiaogang also nodded in agreement, and the two took Su Xiao to see Solace to see what this sanctimonious guy could do on Shrek's territory. As soon as he entered the reception room, Flanders immediately changed his face and complimented Solace with his hands clasped in his hands. It turns out that Platinum Bishop Solace is here. Please don't take it personally. Solace took a sip of tea and snorted coldly. Flanders continued. I would also like to ask Bishop Solace what advice you have when you come to Shrek this time. Solace glanced at Su Xiao and said in a strange tone, advice is not a big deal. It's just that your students, Dean Flender, beat 7 people from Kangwei College into useless people during the competition. They have no intention of practicing at all. I'm here to visit. Quote. Flanders smiled slightly. It was impossible for him to pretend not to know. Bishop Solace, how can we blame our Shrek students for this matter? Maybe the students of Kangwei College lost their fighting spirit and felt that there was no hope in cultivating soul power, so they gave up on cultivation. Solace smiled strangely and said, what Dean Flanders said makes some sense, but the captain of Kangwei College was completely beaten into an idiot. How do you explain it? Before Flanders could speak, Su Xiao said first, Master Bishop, you just want to seek justice for Kangwei College. The person you want to find is me, right? Su Xiao's rash intervention suddenly made the situation tense, and Flanders and Yu Xiaogang stopped him directly. You are young, but you are somewhat responsible. I am now officially arresting you on behalf of the competition organizing committee. Following Sarah's roar, more than a dozen Wahundian soldiers holding weapons rushed into the originally small room. Seeing this situation, Flanders was ready to fight back at any time. Even if he fell out with Wuhun Palace, he could not hand over Su Xiao. Master Bishop, we always pay attention to evidence when handling cases. You said that the captain of Kangwei College was beaten into an idiot by me. Can you let the people from Kangwei College confront me? Su Xiao asked without fear in the face of danger. I have seen it with my own eyes and the evidence is irrefutable. Su Xiao, no matter how much you quibble, it's useless. Solace angrily scolded. At this moment, Yu Xiaogang suddenly took a step forward and suddenly raised his right hand. When the soldiers of Wuhun Palace thought that Yu Xiaogang was going to harm Solace, they saw a sign in his hand. Solace, do you recognize this thing? Yu Xiaogang asked with awe. Papal decree. Solace and a group of Spirit Hall soldiers half knelt on the ground. Seeing the Pope's order is like seeing the Pope, and the person holding the order is like the elder of Wuhun Palace. Greetings to the elder. Everyone in Wuhun Hall shouted in unison. There is no definite evidence, so we are jumping to conclusions and asking the bishop to re-investigate. Solace suddenly became wary of Yu Xiaoging's identity and knew that he could not take Su Xiao away today. After sending Solace away, Yu Xiaoging decided to let Su Xiao and others rest for 3 days and give up the next 3 games. On the 4th day, Shrek won 3 more games in a row in the name of returning from injury. According to the rules, their ranking was able to advance to the ranking competition. There is now the last round of qualifying left, and their opponent is Tianshui Academy, one of the 5 element academies. Xiao, Shaosan and Nangong Yu don't have to play in this game, Yu Xiaoging announced. The 3 of them looked at each other. According to the tactics that Yu Xiaoging had planned early in the morning, Ning Rongrong would not play, which meant that all 7 remaining Dai Mubai players would play in the final game. You must be able to feel that the current strength of Su Xiao and the others is the absolute strength of the team. Even in the next promotion competition, under the leadership of Su Xiao and Xiao San, you will be able to advance to the final championship in Wuhun City. Final. Yu Xiaoging spoke very directly. Ma Hongjun stretched lazily. With a Xiao and third brother, plus senior sister Nangong, the championship will definitely be ours. What about you? Oscar rolled his eyes. I think the cheerleader is pretty good. Flanders suddenly appeared behind Ma Hongjun and patted his head. Can you be successful? Ma Hongjun rubbed his head and said aggrievedly, Teacher, I was joking. Ahem, Yu Xiaoging coughed twice and brought his attention back to the topic. The finals held in Wuhun City is still a 7-person team competition, so if you want to win the championship, you can't just rely on Xiao and the others. Each of you is indispensable in the team. So I decided that Dai Mubai would lead the team in the match against Tianshui Academy. Don't underestimate the Tianshui team just because they are a group of girls. Quote, please believe us, Dai Mubai promised. The 7 people who are about to play the game are all full of confidence. List of Shrek players. Dai Mubai, Zhu Zuqing, Xiao Wu, Ma Hongjun, Meng Yiren, Oscar and Tai Long. Brother, wait for my good news, Xiao Wu said playfully. Tang San smiled and nodded, combing Xiao Wu's hair. The game is about to begin, and the players from both sides enter the venue with their heads held high. Both Shrek Academy and Tianshui Academy have extremely high popularity. On one side is the dark horse, on the other side the 7 girls have their own characteristics and have countless admirers. Hey, what do you think of Tianshui College? Someone next to Su Xiao asked. Su Xiao nodded meaningfully. They are all good, especially the captain Shui Binger, no wonder they are so popular. As soon as he finished speaking, he realized that something was wrong. Nangong Yu was sitting next to her. Little Susu, what did you say? Nangong Yu gave him a hard look without a smile, and then pinched his arm hard. Su Xiao burst into tears instantly. Nangong Yu's power cannot be ignored even if he doesn't use martial arts. Su Xiao took a deep breath to slightly relieve the pain in his arm, and then turned to look at the culprit who had harmed him. Well, I'm talking about strength, don't get me wrong, Su Xiao said awkwardly. Su Xiao looked at Feng Xiaoshan's clothes and asked, are you from Shenfeng Academy? Feng Xiaoshan did not deny it. He deliberately adjusted his clothes and said, I'm Feng Xiaoshan, captain of Shenfeng Academy. These 2 are classmates Su Xiao and Nangong Yu from Shrek, right? What's the matter? Su Xiao felt some inexplicable contempt in her heart when she saw this guy who affected his relationship with Nangong Yu and was extremely narcissistic. It's a big regret that Kamikaze Academy failed to compete with Shrek in the qualifying round. I hope Su Xiao and we can compete in the promotion round. Feng Xiaoshan smiled confidently. Su Xiao snorted coldly, and slowly spoke out a very ironic answer. Are you worthy? Feng Xiaoshan frowned. It was obvious that he and Su Xiao were both the same type of people, extremely arrogant and pretentious, but they had such strength as capital. I know the ratio of your soul rings is abnormal, but the soul skills given by the soul rings cannot represent everything. Feng Xiaoshan counterattacked. At this time, the competition on the stage has begun, and all the players on both sides have activated their martial arts. Su Xiao's attention was also attracted and he casually said, oh, it turns out you have your own soul skills. Feng Xiaoshan was slightly startled. Was his trump card revealed just like that? He covered up his embarrassment with a smile and said, classmate Su Xiao, let's make a bet in this game. You must support Shrek Academy. I'll bet on Tianshui and I'll bet 100 gold soul coins. How about that? Before Su Xiao could answer, Nangong Yu rushed to say, 100 gold soul coins are too little, let's just have 10,000 gold soul coins. Lydia Su nodded quickly in agreement, her eyes full of teasing. Hee, you didn't expect that I have a rich girlfriend. Feng Xiaoshan was in a dilemma. His entire net worth was only 10,000 gold soul coins. If he lost, he would be left with only his pants. Feng Xiaoshan suddenly stood up and shouted, Tianshui will win. At this time, both parties on the stage were possessed by martial souls, and their soul rings were beating up and down around them. In addition to the Captain Shui Binger and Shui Wu, there are 2 soul masters in Tianshui Academy, and the other 5 are soul masters close to level 40. On the contrary, on Shrek's side, only Xiao Wu and Tai Long are soul sects, while Dai Mubai and the other 5 are all soul sects. The game begins. As the referee gave the order, both sides moved. On Shrek's side, Tai Long and Xiao Wu led by Dai Mubai suddenly launched an attack, targeting Shui Binger, who had the highest soul power in the Tianshui team. The first soul skill, freezing. Shui Binger's first soul ring lit up, and before Dai Mubai and the others could react, cold soul power surrounded them, restricting their movements. The soul skill is instantaneous and can be released to 4 people at the same time. Su Xiao clicked his tongue in surprise. Tian Shui had the upper hand, and Feng Xiaoshan couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth. He was about to make some sarcastic remarks arrogantly, but the sudden change in the situation on the field made him shut up quickly. The 4 frozen people in Shui Binger are Dai Mubai, Tai Long, Xiao Wu and Zhu Zuqing. The 4 of them were closest to Tian Shui's position and were the greatest threat, but she ignored Shrek's remaining 3. The first soul skill, Phoenix Fire Wire. The fiery red soul power released by Ma Hongjun's first soul ring gathered in his mouth, turned into a line of fire and sprayed out towards Dai Mubai and others. After receiving special training from the master, he has become proficient in mastering the power of flames. The flames only dissolved Shui Binger's ice, but did not burn Dai Mubai and the others. This fat man's martial spirit is not a grass chicken, but the ultimate fire attribute beast martial spirit Fire Phoenix. Feng Xiaoshan opened his mouth in surprise. Su Xiao shrugged, seeming to be mocking Feng Xiaoshan for not seeing the world. We have a good show this time. Su Xiao, maybe you don't know Shui Binger's martial spirit yet, right? Feng Xiaoshan said in a conspiratorial tone. Su Xiao glanced at Feng Xiaoshan with disgust. The ultimate ice attributed beast, the martial spirit Ice Phoenix, do you think we, Shrek, don't collect intelligence? Feng Xiaoshan clenched his fists tightly. Su Xiao seemed to be playing tricks on him, but he couldn't do anything about it. The second soul skill, Phoenix in Fire. The third soul skill, Phoenix Wings Sky Soar. Ma Hongjun's second and third soul rings lit up one after another, and wings made of flames appeared behind him, gaining the ability to fly. At the same time, his fire ability increased by 100%. After gaining the ability to fly, Ma Hongjun flew directly into the formation of Tianshui Academy and launched a fire attack on the group of girls in the air. I'm not welcome. Ma Hongjun spits fire, and even the audience can feel a strong burning sensation. The second soul skill, Ice Ring Armor. Shui Binger's second soul ring lit up, using ice crystals to form layers of defense, buying time for the rest of Tianshui Academy to evade. Dai Mubai and others also took the opportunity to launch an attack. The second soul skill, White Tiger Fierce Light Wave. The first soul skill, Netherworld Thrust. The first soul skill, Snake Blade. The third soul skill, Teleportation. Tailong, who had increased his strength through his soul skills, followed Xiao Wu and Zhu Zuqing and rushed into the formation of Tianshui Academy. Shui Binger reacted quickly, and the first soul ring lit up again. The first soul skill, Freezing. It was the first instant soul skill again. Xiao Wu, Zhu Zuqing and Tai Long were all restrained. Instead of their original offensive trend, they were surrounded by 6 people from Tianshui Academy. The third soul skill, Dragnet. Without Tang San, Meng Yiren was the only one in the Shrek team who had control-type soul skills. A circle of purple inscriptions appeared at the feet of the 7 people from Tianshui Academy. When the accumulation of the inscriptions ended, dark purple poisonous snakes appeared and bit the jade legs of these girls. Good opportunity. Ma Hongjun's eyes lit up. Phoenix Roaring Sky Strike. His target is Shui Binger. Under Meng Yuren's control, even though she could dodge Ma Hongjun's fourth soul skill, she could not break free from the poisonous snake's mouth. She could only use her ice ring armor with all her strength to resist Ma Hongjun's explosion. There are two stages of damage from Phoenix Sky Strike. The first stage is fire, and the second stage is lava explosion. Everyone in Shrek is sure that Shui Binger will be eliminated. The ice ring armor resisted the flames in the first section, while a dolphin appeared around Shui Binger's body, which was already struggling in the second section, covering her, blocking most of the damage. Fatty didn't use all his strength, otherwise Shui Binger would have been eliminated even with the support of the rest of the Tianshui team. Su Xiao said. At the same time, Xiao Wu and the other three escaped from the ice, and Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing supported them at the same time. The Tianshui team was once again surrounded by Shrek. The third soul skill, Resist Light. Shui Binger covered her chest, and a pair of ice wings grew out of her back, flying to the middle of the battle between Tian Shui and Shrek. With the explosion of the soul power of the third soul ring, everyone in Shrek was bounced away, including Ma Hongjun in the air. The fourth soul skill, Ice Phoenix spreading its wings. Shui Binger forced herself to release her fourth soul skill. Her pair of ice wings gradually dissipated, and at the same time, a huge ice phoenix appeared at her feet, carrying her flying in the air. Shui Binger's ice phoenix is close to being materialized. It is already similar to the martial soul true body that can only be possessed by a soul saint. Its strength cannot be underestimated. The explosive power of Fire Phoenix's fourth soul skill is astonishing. He was probably afraid of seriously injuring Shui Binger, so he didn't use all his strength. Now that his soul power is exhausted, it's his turn to suffer. Feng Xiaoshan analyzed. This is indeed the case, and Ma Hongjun's soul power is extremely consumed. Even with Oscar's recovery sausage, he may not be able to release another Phoenix Roaring Sky Strike. With a Phoenix cry, Shui Binger drove the Ice Phoenix to attack the Shrek crowd. Feng Xiaoshan, you are lucky to be able to see many of Shrek's trump cards. Su Xiao said slowly. Feng Xiaoshan frowned. In his impression, apart from the Fire Phoenix Soul Master, among the few people present from Shrek, only Dai Mubai and Meng Yuren had extremely lethal fourth soul skills, but it was not enough to stop Shui Binger's attack. The third soul skill is to enter Feifei Mushroom Sausage. As Oscar recited the soul curse, 7 flying mushroom intestines immediately appeared in his hand. After Dai Mubai and others ate it, crystal clear wings grew out of their backs, and everyone in Shrek flew into the air at the same time. What? Not only Feng Xiaoshan, but also the entire audience was shocked. That food soul master can actually give other people the ability to fly. Feng Xiaoshan couldn't believe his eyes, and everyone in Shrek was flying extremely fast. He bypassed Shui Binger directly and came to the sky above the other 6 people in Tianshui Academy. The fourth soul skill, White Tiger Meteor Shower. The fourth soul skill, Poisonous Fang Curse. Dai Mubai and Meng Yuren's attacks poured down, and Shui Binger released her ice ring armor to help her teammates resist, but the effect was minimal. In the end, everyone except Soul Sect Shui Wu was eliminated. Soon the minute was up, and except for Oscar, who was able to maintain a flying state for 9 minutes, everyone else landed. This food-type soul master is indeed a big surprise. It's a pity that Shui Wu was not eliminated. Tian Shui still has the strength to fight. Feng Xiaoshan said to himself. I saw the ice phoenix slowly disappearing. After Shui Binger landed, she held hands with Shui Wu. Their soul powers were constantly merging, and the whole place was ravaged by the cold wind. This martial soul fusion skill is very powerful, it should be very powerful. Su Xiao commented. Ice and snow falling. The ice attribute soul power of Shui Binger and Shui Wu condensed a large number of ice cones in the air, formed a group attack, and threw them at Shrek's people. Bing Shui Piaoling's attack had a wide range, but its power was not reduced. Shrek, who lacked defensive soul skills, could only try his best to resist and dodge, but he had nowhere to hide and suffered a lot of damage. With the soul power of Shui Binger and Shui Wu, they can persist until everyone in Shrek is eliminated. Classmate Su Xiao, Shrek should have no trump card now, so those 10,000 gold soul coins. Before Feng Xiaoshan finished speaking, Su Xiao stretched out an index finger to tell him to shut up. I saw that Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing were exactly the same as Shui Binger and Shui Wu before. A pair of lovers who were in love, gave themselves to each other wholeheartedly, and their pale soul power and bright black soul power continued to merge. This is a martial soul fusion skill. This is impossible. If Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing have martial soul fusion skills, then I have never seen them play at the same time in previous games. Feng Xiaoshan asked doubtfully. Su Xiaoda succeeded in raising the corner of his mouth slightly, and said arrogantly, "After all, I am here, the other teams are just garbage. How to allocate personnel? Do you need Brother Xiaoshan to give you advice?" Netherworld White Tiger. The fourth soul skill, excited pink sausage. The white tiger with black stripes ate the pink sausage, and its whole body was covered in red. The ghost white tiger entered a state of excitement and could completely ignore the falling ice and snow. The tiger claws fell, and Shui Binger and Shui Wu were directly knocked out of bounds and eliminated. Congratulations Shrek. The entire audience was cheering for Shrek's wonderful performance, including the supporters of Tianshui Academy. After all, Shrek's performance was so amazing. But there are not exceptions, such as Feng Xiaoshan. "Brother Xiaoshan, look at the 10,000 gold soul coins," Su Xiao said treacherously. Feng Xiaoshan reluctantly took out the gold soul coin storage card and handed it to Su Xiao. "Bring it quickly." Su Xiao snatched the card. "Brother Xiaoshan, if there are less than 10,000 gold soul coins here, don't even think about defaulting on your debt. I, the captain of Feng Xiao Paradise Hall Divine Wind Academy, will be short of this 10,000 gold soul coins." Feng Xiaoshan endured it, pretending to be calm, but in fact his intestines turned green with regret. "Why am I chatting up this guy when I'm free? I really want to have a rich girlfriend. Huo Wu, can you support me?" Su Xiao did not provoke Feng Xiaoshan anymore. After all, Dai Mubai and others successfully won the last knockout match. Shrek ranked third in points and successfully entered the ranking match. "A Xiao, did you see that Feng Xiaoshan's face turned green and he was so arrogant?" Nangong Yu said with a smile. "This guy is quite interesting. He can lead Kamikaze Academy to the first place in points, so he must be quite strong." Su Xiao recalled. Afterwards, Tang San went to accept the rewards from Emperor Shui Yi on behalf of Shrek. In addition to generous rewards, Emperor Shui Yi also granted them titles and used higher titles to attract players to achieve good results. "That old fool Solace must be unhappy, right?" Su Xiao asked. "Yes," Tang San confirmed Su Xiao's guess. "The idea of Emperor Shui Yi to win over the Soul Master is too obvious, but this is the Tiando Empire after all, and Solace doesn't dare to go too far." Before starting the ranking match, there was a break. Xiao Wu broke through the Soul Sect and obtained the fourth Soul Ring. And Du Gubo also came to Shrek at this time. "Old Poison, why are you here?" Tang San asked. "You're not welcome. Didn't you ask me to be a nominal consultant? I have to come and take a look," Du Gubo replied. Su Xiao put her arms around Du Gubo's shoulders and said, "If you miss me and my mistress, just tell me. Why are you so shy?" Su Xiao made it clear, and the three of them found a place to have a few drinks. "I heard that you two participated in the Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy competition," Du Gubo asked. Su Xiao nodded and said, "Yes, and our Shrek has entered the ranking competition. With Xiao San and I here, even the championship is within our grasp." Tang San is also very satisfied with Shrek's current results and has full confidence in the entire team. "With you two here, Shrek will definitely be able to enter the finals, and even achieve a good ranking. As for the championship, hey." Du Gubo sighed. "There is always only one champion, the team sent by Wuhun Palace." Tang San puzzled. "We Shrek are very powerful. In addition to me and a Xiao, we also have Mubai and Zhu Qing's martial soul fusion skills, senior sister Nangong's ultimate power, and Rongrong's 7 treasures glazed pagoda. Together with Xiao Ao's sausage double support, and Xiao Wu, Fatty, Yi Yi and Tai Long helping us, Old Poison has some confidence in me and a Xiao." Du Gubo took a sip of wine and said, "You two should know about the prize of this competition, 3,000-year soul bones. Even a titled Duluo like me is jealous of it. Do you think Wuhun Palace will reward it so easily? Someone else. There are 3 soul kings among the contestants in Wuhun Palace this year. Even if Su Xiao can deal with 1 or 2, the remaining soul kings will be enough to lead other soul sects to defeat you, Shrek. I can hit 7 with 1. Su Xiao said seriously. Then can you escape an assassination at the title Duluo level? Du Gubo suddenly became serious. Tang San said. Old poison, what you mean is that Wuhun Palace will use dirty tricks secretly. Su Xiao then picked up the wine glass and drank it in one gulp. What are you afraid of? With you here, old poison, can you still bear the death of my mistress and I? Du Gubo was already used to Su Xiao's arrogance. He looked at Tang San, and when he thought of his father, his frown eased a lot. Go to the spirit hall and do it. Du Gubo became excited as if he was incited by Su Xiao. Seeing that Du Gubo, who had always been as gloomy as a poisonous snake, became enthusiastic, Tang San's confidence doubled. The ranking competition is about to begin, but the competition venue is not in the city, but in a place called Jujian Mountain. Jujian Mountain is where the Tiando royal family keeps soul beasts in captivity, and is guarded by a group of powerful soul masters and soldiers. It is held here to prevent the ranking match from being disturbed, so no one else is allowed to watch the match except the participating teams. Xiao, take me with you to the ranking match. I can cheer you up. Tina pestered Su Xiao and said. Su Xiao shook her head and refused. For a cat-eared girl like Tina, Su Xiao knew very well how lethal it was to men. With Shrek's strength, there's no need for a beauty trap at all. Put this on. Nangong Yu took out a set of black robes and put them on Tina, completely blocking her hot figure and alluring feline characteristics. Su Xiao waved her hands helplessly. Since Nangong Yu was on Tina's side, she could only agree. Shrek and everyone came to Jujian Mountain and assigned accommodation under the guidance of the soldiers. Before they could rest, Ning Fengji brought a blonde noble boy to visit. Uncle Ning, brother Shui Qinghe. Tang San took the initiative to greet him. When the others in Shrek heard that Ning Fengji was coming, they also gathered here. This is the crown prince of the Tiando Empire, Shui Qinghe. Tang San introduced. Afterwards, everyone exchanged some pleasantries, but Su Xiao's attitude towards Shui Qinghe was lukewarm. Shui Qinghe took the initiative and asked, I wonder if classmate Su Xiao has any objections to me. I heard that my emperor brother Shui Bang was very offensive to Shrek. I apologize to you here. Shui Qinghe cupped his fists and bowed before he bowed. Su Xiao pointed at Sang and scolded Wei and said, Shui Bang is good, but the prince has to bully others. How can he be a prince if he is sanctimonious? Su Xiao's words made the atmosphere instantly awkward, and everyone was puzzled. Although Su Xiao liked to act arrogant, he was never such an unreasonable person. If something goes wrong, there must be a monster. Yu Xiaogang glanced at his disciple. At this time, Flanders came out to smooth things over and said, Sect Master Ning, Your Highness the Crown Prince, these children will have a game tomorrow, let them go back and rest first. Ning Fengji walked down the slope and said, Then I won't bother you. With that said, the two left. When Ning Fengji and Shui Qinghe walked away, everyone looked at Su Xiao with wide eyes and surprise. Why are you staring at me? Even though I have an unparalleled temperament, you don't have to look at me like this. Su Xiao said. Xiao, are you crazy? He is the crown prince of the Tiando Empire and will be the emperor in the future. You actually talk to him like this? Ma Hongjun said in horror. Su Xiao whistled. Does the emperor have to be afraid of him? Even if the Pope comes in person, he can be scolded and beaten when necessary. Crazy, completely crazy. Oscar sighed and shook his head. Yu Xiaogang asked very sensibly, Xiao, did you find something wrong with Shui Qinghe? After hearing this, Su Xiao's lips slightly raised and said, Teacher, you don't need to be too close to Shui Qinghe. This person is very good at winning people's hearts. Although he is a prince, it is a bit too much. Mistress, you should be careful. Compared to Shui Qinghe, Tang San definitely trusted Xiao more. Su Xiao waved his hand to signal everyone to disperse. He suddenly stopped Ning Rongrong and told him, You can't complain to Sect Master Ning about what you just said. Ning Rongrong rolled his eyes and said with a smile, Brother Xiao, I don't like Shui Qinghe's behavior either. You were too angry when you scolded him. Lydia Su slapped her forehead and let out a sigh of relief. He forgot that Ning Rongrong was actually a little witch. She's so rebellious. Late at night, Yu Xiaogang and Flender gave a few simple instructions and asked everyone to go to bed early. Xiao, mistress, come to my room. Yu Xiaogang greeted. After the two saw Yu Xiaogang, his expression was serious and cautious. Yu Xiaogang said, Although I have the papal decree, once Wuhundian goes crazy, this thing is actually useless. You must restrain yourself in the next competition, especially Shaosan. Su Xiao and Tang San looked at each other, and they understood Yu Xiaoging's intentions. Yu Xiaoging treated the two of them like a master and a father, so naturally he didn't want Su Xiao and Tang San to be in any danger. Teacher, don't worry, the teams participating in the ranking competition this time should not have any opponents who can force Shaosan to use his full strength. Su Xiao said. Yu Xiaoging let out a long sigh. Ah Xiao, you are too sharp, sometimes you still have to clamp your tail, no matter what, mistress, you must hide your identity. If necessary, you can negotiate with Shui Qinghe and use the power of the Tiando Empire to protect yourself. Quote. Su Xiao and Tang San both nodded in agreement, and the three masters and apprentices chatted for a few more words. Yu Xiaoging asked them to go back and rest early, as the ranking competition will begin tomorrow. The next day, the ranking competition officially began. Shrek's opponent in the first round was Barak Academy, the Royal Academy of the Kingdom of Barak. Dean, weren't we Shrek in the Balak Kingdom before? Ning Rongrong asked. Flanders nodded slightly dully. Dai Mubai explained. The Barak royal family once intended to win over our Shrek Academy, but these guys only bullied ordinary people because they were soul masters, so the dean was determined to put aside relations with them. As a result, the college was suppressed everywhere and could not even register as a regular college. Quote. Hearing this, Lu Erlong was filled with indignation and said, then we must give them a lesson today. Considering the relationship between Nangong Yu, Xiaowu and Lu Erlong, Nangong Yu volunteered, teacher, I'll go first. The first person from Barak Academy to appear was their captain, a strong 20-year-old youth who was the strongest soul sect in the team. As both sides released their martial arts spirits, the referee announced the start of the game. According to the rules of the ranking match, the distance between the two parties was about 20 meters. The captain of Barak Academy suddenly rushed forward and punched Nangong Yu with his right fist. As Nangong Yu stood there, her first soul ring and second soul ring lit up one after another. The two powerful amplifying soul skills brought her strength to its peak. She punched faster and harder than the opponent, hitting the opponent's front door first. This punch directly knocked Barak's captain 5 meters away, and he fell to the ground and passed out. Nangong Yu ended the game with one punch, and said with an indifferent expression towards the position of Barak Academy, next one. Barak Academy never expected that the strongest captain could not even react and was instantly defeated. One punch is enough to beat you losers. Nangong Yu continued to taunt when no one came up. This sentence seemed to anger Barak Academy. In an instant, 8 people from Barak Academy were on the field at the same time. Senior Nangong and A Xiao have been together for a long time. What's wrong with them is learning how to act cool. Oscar said helplessly. What are you doing? The referee appeared and shouted loudly. The people from Barak Academy completely ignored the referee's words and surrounded Nangong Yu. Seeing this situation, Su Xiao and others were about to go to help, but were stopped by Lu Erlong, saying, Yu Er is your girlfriend, you should know her temperament. Su Xiao looked at Nangong Yu's back on the stage, and the Golden Dragon girl's momentum was completely released. Even if she was 1 against 8, she didn't lose at all. The original one-on-one match suddenly became chaotic, but neither Platinum Bishop Solace, who represented Wuhun Palace in the VIP table, nor the teachers from both colleges came out to stop it, as if they acquiesced. Want to fight in a group? Nangong Yu said coldly. Everyone in Barak Academy looked disgusting and directly attacked Nangong Yu. The fourth soul skill, Golden Dragon Explosion. With Nangong Yu as the center, 3 violent explosions erupted, and the powerful soul power impact directly knocked back everyone in Balak. Then, Nangong Yu gave each of Barak a heavy punch, and they all ended up being knocked unconscious like the first Captain Barak. Referee, can you announce the result? Su Xiao shouted from the spectators' seat. Ah! The referee was also stunned. All 9 of Barak's teammates were knocked unconscious by a girl, and it only happened in an instant. Shrek Academy wins. The referee announced loudly. At this time, other colleges watching the Shrek match were also shocked, especially Blazing Academy. Brother Huohei, who had been kicked by Nangong Yu before, cried out in pain, "Look, it really hurts when she hits someone." After the game, Barak Academy was directly eliminated for violating the rules. Shrek's next opponent is the Botanical Academy from the Star Luo Empire. Chapter 71. As the name of the Botanical Academy suggests, all their contestants are plant soul masters, and they are all control soul masters. Yu Xiaogang introduced. Is it the same as third brother? Xiao Wu said. Yes, and the control system soul master will have a great advantage in one-on-one battles. Even if the opponent's soul power is not high, it can greatly limit the opponent's performance. The Botanical Academy is a bit tricky, Tang San said. At this time, Su Xiao yawned inappropriately, and everyone immediately focused their attention on him. What are you looking at me for? Su Xiao was stunned for a moment, looking confused. In dealing with the Botanical Academy, the real protagonist is there. Following the direction Su Xiao pointed, everyone saw Ma Hongjun, who was already asleep and drooling. Ma Hongjun opened his eyes drowsily and said, "Are you ready to eat?" Facing the Botanical Academy, Shrek first sent Tai Lung to test the opponent's strength. A level 40 soul sect sent by the Botanical College, even if he does not have powerful soul skills, can easily win by controlling the plants and controlling Tai Lung, who is good at strength. Fat man, have you seen it? The other party is a plant-type martial spirit. They are most afraid of your anger. Is it okay to wear 7? Su Xiao raised his eyebrows and said. Ma Hongjun flipped up his bangs and walked towards the stage arrogantly. Look at your handsome brother. In the previous team battle with Tianshui College, Ma Hongjun showed his strong strength, and the Botany College naturally did not dare to underestimate him. However, plant martial souls are naturally restrained by flames, let alone the purified phoenix flame after taking phoenix coxcomb. Ma Hongjun only used his first soul skill. The flames burned the opponent's plant martial soul and could not be extinguished. The soul sect of the Botanical College directly chose to admit defeat. Facing the second player from the Botanical College, Ma Hongjun repeated his old tricks and released the Phoenix Fire line again, but was easily extinguished by his opponent. My red flame thorns are fire resistant, the girl from the Botanical College said arrogantly. Su Xiao and Tang San gasped when they heard it, but their reactions were completely different. So this kind of thing sounds so deserving of a beating. Tang San sighed lightly, looking guiltily at Huo Wu not far away. Su Xiao shouted towards the arena. Fat man, I won't allow anyone to be more arrogant than Shrek. Let's end it quickly. Ma Hongjun smiled evilly and made a solve gesture towards Su Xiao and the others. After a brief struggle with the opponent, Ma Hongjun's fourth soul ring suddenly burst into light. The fourth soul skill, Phoenix Roaring Sky Strike. With Ma Hongjun's strength, he could seriously injure his opponent, but he had shown mercy to Shui Bing when he was a child, so no one was worried about him accidentally injuring his opponent. Sure enough, Ma Hongjun stopped the second wave of damage from the Phoenix Sky Strike in time, and finally knocked the girl off the stage with a slight thrust of his butt, ending the game. Facing a top-level martial spirit like the top-level Fire Phoenix, the Botanical Academy's martial spirit was completely restrained. Even the fire-resistant red flame thorns could not defeat Ma Hongjun. The Botanical College had no choice but to admit defeat. Shrek Academy wins, the referee announced excitedly. And Ma Hongjun also completed the feat of 1 pass and 7, and was once again amazed by the participating teams. The opponents in the next few games were not very strong, and Shrek only sent out 2 people to win, until they learned about their opponents in the next game. It's Blazing Academy again, Flanders said. However, everyone is not worried. Blazing Academy has a certain advantage in team battles because they have 2 auxiliary soul masters. But in one-on-one, except for Huo Wushwang and Huo Wu, the others were no threat at all. It depends on the third brother to fight the blazing fire. After all, his blue-silver grass is immune to fire, Oscar boasted. Everyone agreed, but Lydia Su suddenly said, Xiao-san and I will go together. Meeting blazing fire again, everyone at Shrek was very relaxed. After all, in the knockout round, Shrek defeated Blazing Fire completely through training. Moreover, Tang San's blue-silver grass had the effect of preventing fire, completely suppressing the use of Blazing Fire in every aspect. When the game started, Shrek sent Tang San first, while Blazing Fire Academy sent Captain Huo Wushwang. Possessed by Huo Wushwang's martial spirit, the whole person looks like a humanoid one-horned fire tyrannosaurus. Tang San was the first to attack, using his first soul skill, Entanglement, in an attempt to limit Huo Wushwang's performance. I thought that the blue-silver grass was immune to fire and Huo Wushwang's soul skills would be ineffective, but the blue-silver grass was completely shattered. Third brother's fire immunity is invalid, Ma Hongjun asked doubtfully. However, Yu Xiaogang saw Huo Wushwang's method immediately and explained, it was not the flames that destroyed the Shaoxin blue-silver grass, but the energy explosion. In other words, Huo Wushwang condensed the flames and compressed the soul power to the limit, resulting in an explosion effect that shattered the blue-silver grass instead of burning the flames. Quote, Tang San, who controls the blue-silver grass, has also noticed that since the Blazing Fire team has figured out how to break the blue-silver grass's fire immunity, the battle against the Blazing Fire will become a normal duel, and the so-called restraint can be put aside. Even if Blazing Fire breaks Shaoxin Lan Yinsao's fire immunity, Huo Wushwang is no match for him. Dai Mubai said. Su Xiao nodded. Xiao San's soul power is close to that of Huo Wushwang. At the same level, the control system Soul Master has an advantage. Besides, Xiao San has many other methods besides soul skills. Tang San's fusion of soul skills and Tang Sect's unique skills had reached the point of proficiency. Even though Huo Wushwang tried his best, he was defeated by Tang San. Then the 5 people sent by Blazing Academy, who were just soul lords, were easily crushed by Tang San. In the Blazing Fire Academy, only Huo Wu is left. If Tang San can defeat Huo Wu, there will be another 1-7 match. You will definitely lose miserably today. Huo Wu's eyes were full of aggression, and she shouted hysterically at Tang San. At this time, Tang San scratched his head in embarrassment and said to the referee, my soul power is exhausted, I surrender. Su Xiao took over from Tang San. Although Kai Huo was not defeated by Tang San, he was unable to defeat Tang San with his own hands, which made Huo Wu stomp her feet in anger. Tang San, you are a coward. Huo Wu continued to shout relentlessly. Su Xiao yawned impatiently, and said indifferently, hey, have you scolded enough? Just admit defeat after scolding, I don't want to hurt you. Being ridiculed like this, Huo Wu became even more angry. She gritted her teeth and squeezed out a few words, Tang San is not here, so I will take it out on you. Both sides were possessed by martial spirits. Even though Su Xiao's soul ring completely suppressed Huo Wu, her momentum was not weak at all. Little girl, you are very strong, but you are still far from good. Su Xiao said arrogantly. At the same time, the 4 soul rings that were beating around Huo Wu's body gradually gathered together. As the soul power leaked out, the 4 soul rings seemed to be merging together. This is a fusion ring. Everyone in Chuo said in surprise. Ring fusion is an innate talent. Su Xiao has used it before. In addition, according to Ning Rongrong, she can also use ring fusion. Now I didn't expect that Huo Wu could be used. Everyone has seen the power of Su Xiao when he melted the ring. This is a method that can kill people. Huo Wu's 4 soul rings released their majestic soul power and merged into her body. The 4th soul skill, Fire Dance Yaoyang. With the simultaneous blessing of the soul power of 4 soul rings, Huo Wu's attack was equivalent to that of a level 70 soul saint. Faced with such a strong attack, even if Su Xiao wanted to hide, he was suppressed by the huge wave of soul power. Even if he could avoid it, the extremely hot flame energy would follow him. Don't think you're the only one who can. Holy Light Dragon Transformation. A pale golden lightsaber gradually formed in Su Xiao's hand, with dragon patterns vaguely appearing on it. The 4 soul rings on his body were seen to have been transferred to the lightsaber. He held the lightsaber with both hands and raised it above his head, and the 4 soul rings rose up to the blade. This sword can distinguish between superiority and inferiority, as well as life and death. The battle in the Soto Spirit Arena a year ago was still vivid in Su Xiao's mind. Melting ring. With Su Xiao's loud shout, all the soul power of the 4 soul rings was integrated into the lightsaber. Holy light ascends the dragon sword. A golden sword energy struck Huo Wu Yaoyang, and the result was predictable. It's also a fusion ring, but Su Xiao's soul power is much higher than Huo Wu. With a dragon roar, Huo Wu Yaoyang was directly split into 2 halves, and the power of the scattered flames swept directly across the entire venue. Even the people watching the battle had to use their soul power to resist the hot soul power. The remaining dragon-shaped sword energy was still powerful. Faced with such power, Huowu seemed to see the god of death waving to her. A roaring golden dragon appeared in the golden sword energy, and instantly swallowed Huowu. However, after baring its teeth and claws, the golden dragon flew straight into the sky, and Huowu half knelt on the ground in a daze. I surrender, Huowu whispered. She knew that the last moment was for Su Xiao to recover her soul power, otherwise she would have been crushed into powder. After defeating Kai Huo, Huowu was completely shocked. No matter in terms of strength or deeper level, she completely lost to Su Xiao. The strength shown by Su Xiao made no team participating in the ranking match dare to underestimate him. Even Feng Xiaoshan, who had always wanted to compete with Su Xiao, stayed away from him when he saw Su Xiao. Brother Xiaoshan, let's continue playing when you have time, the kind that costs 10,000 gold soul coins. Every time Su Xiao saw Feng Xiaoshan, she had to feel disgusted with him before she could leave happily. After defeating Blazing Fire, Shrek easily crushed Tianshui. Among the remaining teams, only Thunder Academy can attract their attention. Yu Xiaoging said. Thunder Academy is supported by the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, and their captain Yu Tianxin is the cousin of Yu Tianong who you have met before. In the last game, his soul power had broken through to level 48, and there were 5 attack-type soul masters in the entire Thunder Academy team. Quote, Thunder Academy is strong, but after experiencing a series of consecutive victories, Shrek is no longer afraid, especially with Su Xiao and Tang San here, it seems that he can overcome any obstacle. Teacher, is Yu Tianxin coming towards me? Su Xiao pointed out directly. Yu Xiaoging did not deny it. Back in Soto City, Tang San and his men defeated Huang Dou's team, and Tianheng was suppressed by Su Xiao's move. Tianxin will naturally pay attention to you, Xiao. Xiao, are you from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family? Ma Hongjun asked. Regarding Ma Hongjun's inappropriate words, Nangong Yu was the first to give him a kick. Fat man, your mouth can only eat, but can't speak, right? After being threatened like this by Nangong Yu, Ma Hongjun immediately shut up. Teacher, there should be a lot of conflict between Yu Tianong and Yu Tianxin, such as the position of the young master of the family. Su Xiao hit the nail on the head. Yu Xiaoging nodded. Tianong is younger than Tianxin. Both of them have excellent talents, but the family has designated Tianong as the heir of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family. Tianxin has always been dissatisfied, so this time Tianxin can defeat Yu Xiao. This will give him a bargaining chip to compete with Tianheng for the position of young master. Everyone fell into silence for a while. After all, this was an internal matter within the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family, and no one could interfere. At this time, Ning Rongrong suddenly said, what if Brother A Xiao competes for the position of young master? Brother A Xiao's bright holy dragon spirit is a higher level spirit than the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex. Everyone gasped after hearing this, but it was not impossible. Yu Xiaoging's face turned gloomy at first, but now he sighed again and said, now that things have come to this, I won't hide this matter from you, Xiao. Ever since you obtained the first soul ring, that is, when you sent Xiaobai mother and son to the junior college, people from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family have begun to pay close attention to you secretly. The same is true for the King of the World, and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family has proposed more than once that you can inherit the position of young master, provided that you must marry a woman from the Blue Lightning Tyrant family. I originally planned to tell you these things after the Continental Advanced Soul Master competition is over. Quote. After hearing Yu Xiaoging's words, everyone was completely shocked, and then they all looked at Nangong Yu, who had blank eyes and was a little dazed. You must marry a woman from the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex family, was like a big rock pressing down on everyone, making them unable to breathe. I don't agree. Lu Erlong was the first to object. Su Xiao, if you dare to abandon Yuer, even if you are the heir to the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family, I won't let you go. Seeing the angry Lu Erlong, Su Xiao was also frightened. He took a deep breath, walked to Nangong Yu, hugged her with an uncertain expression, and said softly, Yuer, no matter what, the only one who will stay with me for the rest of my life is you. Su Xiao's sudden confession was not affectionate, but it calmed Nangong Yu's heart. She lay on Lydia Su's shoulder, tears falling down unsatisfactorily. Su Xiao wiped away Nangong Yu's tears, turned around and promised, and Erlong, don't worry, my surname is Su, not Yu. Even if my life experience is related to the blue electric Tyrannosaurus family, I will not give up to be the young master of some bullshit family. Yours. Lu Erlong, who was originally serious, smiled when he heard Su Xiao's words and glanced at Yu Xiaogang unconsciously. Yu Xiaogang nodded with satisfaction. As he regarded Su Xiao and Tang San as his own children, although Su Xiao was not as stable as Tang San, he had 100% trust in Su Xiao's character. Yu Tianeng. Who did I recruit? Why did you call me bullshit? When the game against Thunder Academy started, Su Xiao was the first to play, and he cleanly eliminated the first 6 players from Thunder Academy. Yu Tianxin stepped onto the field and said with an indifferent expression, "I've been waiting for you for a long time." Lydia Su curled her lips. "Don't talk nonsense. Has anyone told you that if you pull like this, you will be beaten badly?" "Ha ha," Yu Tianxin sneered. "Then first you have to hit me with strength." After the referee introduces both sides, the game is about to begin. The two were possessed by martial spirits. Su Xiao's martial spirit was dominant, but his soul power was only level 45, while Yu Tianxin's soul power was at level 48. "Didn't you watch the match between me and Blazing Fire?" Su Xiao asked in confusion. Even if Yu Tianxin underestimated his strength, after using the ring fusion, it was completely beyond the capabilities of a soul sect. Without special means, he would have to be seriously injured and disabled even if he didn't die. "If you can't defeat even Blazing Fire Academy, then Su Xiao, you are not worthy of being my opponent," Yu Tianxin said arrogantly. Su Xiao was stunned. Apparently Yu Tianxin didn't go to Sichuo's game because of her pride. "Have you ever heard of a saying, pretend to be cool and get struck by lightning?" Su Xiao said. Yu Tianxin raised his right hand, and arcs flashed in his hand, saying, "Is this the kind of thunder you are talking about?" Su Xiao looked helpless. He didn't want to talk to this arrogant guy anymore, so he had to give him a more direct lesson. As the referee announced the start of the game, neither Su Xiao nor Yu Tianxin took action rashly, but the soul powers released by both parties had inadvertently started to collide. Dragonization. Yu Tianxin's momentum suddenly surged. A single dragon wing suddenly appeared on his back, and his hands were also covered with a layer of dark blue dragon scales. Dragon claws and dragon wings, double dragon transformation. Lu Erlong, who is also from the blue electric Tyrannosaurus family, said in surprise. Although her fire dragon spirit is a mutated blue electric Tyrannosaurus spirit, it can also use dragon transformation. With her current soul saint cultivation level, she can use the 4th level of dragon transformation. The strong amplification effect from her bloodline is precisely the reason why the electric Tyrannosaurus is called the world's best attacking beast martial spirit. Dragon transformation soul skill, glory. Yu Tianxin directly used the strongest killing move. Under the amplification of double dragon transformation, his 4th soul skill has been strengthened into a dragon transformation soul skill, and its power is not inferior to that of a 60-level soul emperor. "Hey, let me teach you a lesson for the teacher." The 4th soul skill, Dragon King breaks the evil split. Su Xiao's 4th soul ring lit up, and he hit 3 palms in succession. He did not use the 4th palm that could be associated with dominion over the world, but it contained the aura of being invincible in the world. The strength gap between Tianxin and Xiao is still too big. Even if he transforms into a double dragon, he can't resist Xiao's 4th soul skill using all his strength. The result can be imagined. Under the attack of Dragon King Po Xie split, Yu Tianxin was directly beaten off the stage. Shrek wins. After the game against Thunder College, Yu Tianxin personally expressed her apology to Yu Xiaogang. "Uncle, I support the family's decision to make Su Xiao the family heir," Yu Tianxin said piously. "The strong ones in the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex family are respected, and Su Xiao's strength has completely conquered him." Yu Xiaogang and Lydia Su smiled awkwardly and said, "There is no rush to talk about this matter." Shrek currently has the last game left in the ranking competition, where Feng Xiaoshan is at Kamikaze Academy. Classmate Su Xiao. Feng Xiaoshan took the initiative and came to Shrek shamelessly. Looking at his awkward and humble smile, Su Xiao felt a little pity for this guy, but she definitely couldn't return the 10,000 gold soul coins to him. "Brother Xiaoshan, what's the matter?" Su Xiao said, pretending. Although Su Xiao looked like he deserved a beating now, Feng Xiaoshan came to ask him for something this time, so he could only say with a smile, "Tomorrow our 2 teams will compete. I have something to ask of you, and I ask you, Su Xiao, to agree. Su Xiao glanced at Feng Xiaoshan with disgust, then took the initiative to retreat a few steps. I won't do anything about match fixing. No, no. Feng Xiaoshan broke into a cold sweat instantly and quickly waved his hand to explain. I have watched every game of Shrek. We at Kamikaze Academy know that we are no match for Shrek, so I hope that tomorrow's game will be changed to a duel between us. Can you beat me in a duel? Su Xiao asked doubtfully. Feng Xiaoshan sighed softly and said, we will definitely lose, but I want to prove myself in front of Huo Wu. Feng Xiaoshan was instantly filled with fighting spirit when he mentioned Huo Wu. Su Xiao chuckled meaningfully and said, I didn't expect that Brother Xiaoshan is also a lover. Feng Xiaoshan nodded, his expression softened, and he seemed to be moved by himself. Although Huo Wu rejected me 107 times, I believe she will be influenced by me soon. But he didn't notice that Su Xiao's eyes turned treacherous at this moment. 5,000 gold soul coins, we can't help but talk. What? Feng Xiaoshan jumped up in shock. Classmate Su Xiao, the 10,000 gold soul coins from last time are all my wealth. I don't even have the money to date Huo Wu. Su Xiao turned his back and said coldly, then I don't care. You have no money. Aren't the others in Kamikaze rich? If you don't see 5,000 gold soul coins before dawn, just wait to be penetrated. Without turning around to look at Feng Xiaoshan, he knew that this guy was so angry that he was itching his teeth, but he couldn't do anything about Su Xiao. This is a world where strength is paramount, it's so cool. Not long after Feng Xiaoshan left, he collected 5,000 gold soul coins and sent them to Su Xiao. Seeing Qian, Su Xiao said in a very contractual spirit, looking forward to the duel with Brother Xiaoshan tomorrow. Feng Xiaoshan couldn't laugh anymore, but for Sister Huo Wu, it was money well spent. The next day, the news spread like wildfire that the match between Shrek and Kamikaze Academy would be a battle between Su Xiao and Feng Xiaoshan. As the final battle of the ranking tournament, it naturally attracted many people to watch. In addition to Shui Qinghe, the crown prince of the Tiando Empire, Ning Fengji, the master of the Qibao Glazed sect, and Solace, the platinum bishop, who were at the VIP table, there was also a strong man wearing black armor and exuding a sinister aura. This competition is between two talented young men from our empire, both of whom have not lost a single defeat. We also ask Lord Zhu Duluo for advice. Shui Qinghe said proactively. Zhu Duluo Yugan, a 95th level titled Duluo, is one of the elders of Wuhun Palace. After the referee announced the start of the game, Su Xiao and Feng Xiaoshan were possessed by martial souls, and their soul rings were beating around their bodies. Oh, the bright holy dragon spirit has 3 purple and 1 black spirit rings. He is 13 years old. To describe such strength as a genius is not an insult to him. He is from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. Zhu Duluo asked proactively. Solace, who stood aside respectfully, replied, Sir, his name is Su Xiao, and his teacher is Yu Xiaoging, who I told you before. Solace did not say it clearly, but he was obviously referring to Yu Xiaoging's possession of the papal decree. Master has a deep connection with our Pope's palace, and he comes from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family. Although his surname is Su, he may be from the Shengsan sect. Zhu Duluo said to himself. If this evil young man can be used by Wuhun Palace, I'm afraid even Nana and the other two will have to step down and make way for someone more worthy. At the same time, the battle between Su Xiao and Feng Xiaoshan has begun. In order to prove his strength in front of Huo Wu, Feng Xiaoshan went all out to attack. Although he knew that he was too far behind Su Xiao, he must not let anyone underestimate him in Shenfeng Academy. The first soul skill, Wind Blade Array. Feng Xiaoshan's martial spirit is a mutated martial spirit, a two-headed wolf with strong wind, which possesses extremely powerful wind attribute attacks. But the wind blade condensed by his soul power does not pose any threat to Su Xiao. Holy Light Dragon Transformation. Su Xiao was able to do it with ease, whether she was stepping on the ghost shadow or using her soul power to resist. Brother Xiaoshan, isn't your strongest move your own soul skill? Don't keep your trump card at this time. Su Xiao said lazily. Feng Xiaoshan also realized that his ordinary soul skills could not hurt Su Xiao at all. At this time, he could only prove his strength by striking with all his strength and forcing out Su Xiao's trump card. The second soul skill, possession by two wolves. Feng Xiaoshan transformed for the second time, and the soul power released from his second soul ring condensed into two wind wolves and injected into his body. The third soul skill, wind wings. Feng Xiaoshan used the amplified soul skill again, and a pair of cyan wings appeared behind his back. At this time, his speed and strength had reached their peak. Classmate Su Xiao, this is my self-created soul skill, the wind demonic wolf 36 consecutive cuts. I saw a double-headed wind wolf phantom biting Su Xiao. This was Feng Xiaoshan's first slash. Feng Xiaoshan was building up momentum with every slash, and the power of each attack was increasing, which meant that the power of his 36th slash would reach an incredible level. Why does Ah Xiao only defend and not fight back? If he doesn't interrupt Feng Xiaoshan. Everyone in the stands was a little worried. Yu Xiaoging, Tang San and Nangong Yu were full of confidence in Su Xiao. Tang San said, with Ah Xiao's strength, it is easy to defeat Feng Xiaoshan. The current situation may be related to the agreement between the two. Supported by Su Xiao's majestic soul power, Feng Xiaoshan's first 35 slashes did not break through the defense of the Holy Light Divine Dragon transformation. Now there is only one last blow left. The damage of the 36th slash will exceed the sum of all previous attacks. Su Xiao, you have to be careful. Feng Xiaoshan warned. The corners of Su Xiao's mouth turned up slightly. He didn't seem to notice that the danger was approaching, but he was a little excited. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. The power of Feng Xiaoshan's final attack is self-evident, but how Su Xiao will respond has become the focus of everyone's attention. Is it the Zheng Lin Tian Sha, who once easily defeated the Elephant Academy? Or the Ring Huan, who defeated Huo Wu? He also said that he has other trump cards. But what Su Xiao did next shocked everyone. He actually put away his martial spirit. He wants to die. Even Yu Guan, a titled Duluo, didn't know what Su Xiao wanted to do. I saw Su Xiao slowly raising his left hand, and a cloud of blood mist enveloped and filled the air. Instead of looking evil and weird, the red mist makes people feel heavy and intimidating. Everyone present can feel the pressure. Even Qian Runshui and Zhu Duluo, who have God-given martial arts spirits and disguise themselves as Shui Qinghe, cannot avoid it. Dragon God's Claw. Su Xiao waved her left hand, and a divine dragon with only a bloody outline appeared, roaring and crashing into the phantom of the wind demon wolf transformed by Feng Xiaoshan. The originally ferocious two-headed demon wolf's momentum was completely suppressed, and it looked like a mourning dog in front of the bloody dragon. Hold head high. The vast roar of the dragon resounded through the sky, and after the bloody dragon destroyed the wind demonic wolf, it dissipated in the sky. Feng Xiaoshan, who was defeated by crushing, was holding his hands on the ground, breathing heavily and looking horrified. Su Xiao's attack just now can no longer be described as powerful. It was a suppression from the source and can no longer be described as terrifying. The Dragon God's Claw is definitely Su Xiao's strongest killing move at the moment. When he unleashes it with all his strength, even the Soul Saint will be seriously injured even if he doesn't die. The best example is when defense is low. So when Su Xiao faced Feng Xiaoshan's 36 slashes, he gave up the increase in soul power. The power of the Dragon God Claw alone as a combat skill was enough to defeat Feng Xiaoshan. Su Xiao was going to help Feng Xiaoshan up, but suddenly a strong aura enveloped him and grabbed his left wrist. Is it a soul bone? Zhu Duluo said to himself. Seeing Yu Guan, Su Xiao immediately became alert. What did he want to do? If the other party is disadvantageous to her at such a close distance, Su Xiao won't even have time to release her martial spirit. Lord Zhu Duluo, what are you going to do to Su Xiao? Ning Fengji asked loudly at the VIP table. Yu Guan sneered. Sect Master Ning, don't worry, Su Xiao is extremely talented. I intend to support him, but I can't bear to hurt such a monster. Although Zhu Duluo said this, Shrek and the others became nervous. Flanders and Luerlong were ready to rescue Su Xiao at any time. Are you from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family? Yu Gan asked. No, Lydia Su's answer was cold. What you used just now was not a soul bone skill or a soul skill. What was it? No comment. What an arrogant boy, do you know who I am? Of course, the famous Zhu Huaguan. Su Xiao directly said Yu Guan's nickname. As a titled Duluo, he was ridiculed by a soul sect, and he suddenly became angry. Yu Guan's soul power was vaguely leaked. When Zhu Duluo was about to be disadvantageous to Su Xiao, two auras that were not weaker than him suddenly appeared. Sharp sword energy and light green poisonous mist appeared behind Su Xiao. Chen Xin, Dugu Bo, Yu Guan said in a deep voice. This was originally a soul sect competition, but now three titled Duluo appeared on the field at the same time, and the atmosphere instantly became tense. Humph. Zhu Duluo knew that he could not fight one against two, and there was no benefit in breaking up at this time, so he went back to the VIP table. Chen Xin and Dugu Bo both looked at Su Xiao with admiration and left one after another. It's time to announce the results, Yu Xiaogang said softly. The referee had never seen a scene where three titled Duluo were at war with each other, and he was already frightened. On the contrary, Shui Qinghe announced first, "Congratulations to Shrek Academy for winning." After defeating Kamikaze Academy, Shrek ranked first in the ranking competition and entered the finals. The finals will be held in Wuhun City. According to the promise of the Tiando Empire, all teams that enter the finals will receive certain knighthood rewards, and the Tiando Empire will send troops to escort these academies to Wuhun City. Shrek and others simply rested for a few days and then set off with the large team. Where did the teacher go? Su Xiao and Tang San asked. Xiaogang said he has some important things to do, and we will meet up in Wuhun City then. Flanders replied. Su Xiao opened the curtain of the carriage, observed that no one was watching them around, and quietly unfolded his soul power to isolate himself from the sounds of the outside world. At this time, only the voices of Su Xiao, Tang San and Flanders could communicate in the carriage, and no one outside could hear them at all. Dean, teacher, is he going to see the Pope? Su Xiao asked proactively. Flanders looked surprised. How do you know? Su Xiao sighed softly. Teacher asked the Pope for the safety of me and Xiaosan, but according to Wuhundian style, if you can't get it, just destroy it. Even the special relationship between the teacher and the Pope will not change. I have to be careful along the way because I may be attacked by the Wuhun Palace. Quote. Su Xiao's words made Flanders and Tang San stunned after hearing them. Flanders couldn't help but ask, how do you know, Xiaogang, what happened when Xiaogang was young? Su Xiao scratched her head in embarrassment, and Erlong is a little angry, and there are some rumors. In short, it is my guess, but the dean is not important. Now we should beware of the attack from Wuhun Palace. Boom, boom, boom. After Su Xiao finished speaking, the team passed through a valley, and huge rocks began to roll down from the cliffs on both sides. Wuhundian launched an attack, and everyone left the carriage. Although Tiandu's soldiers resisted, they were outnumbered in terms of soul power. Why don't these guys activate martial arts? Ma Hongjun asked as everyone gathered together. Of course it's to hide the identity, but it's just a cover-up. Prepare for a counterattack, Flanders commanded. Fortunately, there are three soul saints, Flanders, Luerlong and Zhao Wuji, so Su Xiao and others are not in danger for the time being. Yuer, Xiaosan, be careful. This attack will eventually turn into a titled Duluo level battle, Su Xiao said worriedly. Nangong Yu held Su Xiao's hand tightly and never left. Even if she was a titled Duluo, as long as Su Xiao was around, she would always feel safe. As Su Xiao expected, 5 martial soul avatars had appeared not far from Shrek. Chrysanthemums, ghosts, green snakes, giant swords, and ancient banyan trees are all fighting together. The strong soul power was constantly splashing, but soon a 7 treasures glazed tower appeared, and several rays of light were injected into the bodies of Chen Xin, Ji Yurong and Dugu Bo, and the situation was instantly reversed. Dad, Ning Rongrong shouted. With the addition of Ning Fengji, Wuhun Palace could only retreat steadily. Even if Zhu Duluo and Ghost Duluo had Wuhun fusion skills, it would be difficult to resist. Yu Xiaogang was lonely outside Wuhun City. When he heard Bibi Dong personally saying that he had sent people to rob and kill Su Xiao and everyone, he was completely disappointed. At this moment, the silhouettes of the team grew longer and longer under the setting sun. Teacher, Su Xiao and Tang San rushed over immediately when they saw Yu Xiaogang. The 3 masters and apprentices hugged each other, feeling quite excited about surviving a disaster. Flanders then carefully told Yu Xiaogang what happened, as well as the timely rescue of Qibao Glazed Sect and Dugu Bo. I would like to thank sect leader Ning and the 3 seniors on behalf of Shrek. Yu Xiaogang bowed and saluted. Master, you're welcome. My daughter is well taken care of by you and several teachers at Shrek. It's appropriate for the 7 treasures glazed sect to take action, Ning Fengji said. Du Gubo was also very free and easy. I am Shrek's guest. How can I sit idly by when someone bullies Su Xiao and Tang San? Afterwards, everyone entered Wuhun City to rest and prepare for the finals. Wuhun City is located between the 2 empires of Tiando and Xingluo. Wuhun City is built on the 6 Wings Mountain. Among them, Wuhun Palace is located in the center of Lui Mountain, as if overlooking and monitoring the entire Duluo continent. The competition venue for this finals is located at the front of the Pope's Palace, one of the 3 main halls of Wuhun Palace. The teams participating in the finals include the 3 seed teams sent by Tiando, Xingluo and Wuhandian, and the 5 teams that won the ranking competition, including Shrek. There are 8 strong teams in total, competing in a 7-person team battle. The final champion. 3,000-year soul bones are right in front of you, Ma Hongjun said with anticipation. Tang San said seriously, if we don't defeat the team sent by Wuhun Palace, we won't be able to win the final championship. Miss, don't be so negative. With you and a Xiao here, we will definitely defeat Wuhun Palace. Oscar encouraged. At this time, Flanders also returned from the draw. The Shrek and Wuhandian teams were divided into 2 different halves, so it was impossible for both sides to meet before the finals. Shrek's opponent in the first game was Star Luo Royal Academy. Su Xiao and Tang San both looked at Dai Mubai worriedly. Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing's eyes were a little dazed. Boss Dai, we will win this game, not only for yourself, but also for Shrek. Su Xiao said. Dai Mubai glanced at Zhu Zuqing, then looked around at the people fighting side by side, and nodded confidently. A Xiao, Tang San, and the Star Luo Royal Academy are not as strong as us as a whole, but I hope that Zhu Qing and I can defeat them personally. Dai Mubai said. Of course, in Xingluo's way, fight against the Netherworld White Tiger. The next day, the 2 strongest people in Xingluo Royal Academy were Davis and Zhu Zuyun, the brothers and sisters of Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing. They all come from the same family and naturally possess the same martial spirit. Because of their age, Davis and Zhu Zuyun have higher soul power. Davis is at level 48, and Zhu Zuyun is at level 47. In comparison, Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing were much inferior. And the gap in soul power will also lead to the gap in martial soul fusion skills, which means that from the data point of view, Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing are already at a disadvantage. But their biggest advantage is that they have a group of extremely trustworthy friends. The list of Shrek's players. Dai Mubai, Zhu Zuqing, Su Xiao, Tang San, Nangong Yu, Oscar and Ning Rongrong. This lineup is also Shrek's final lineup, with the top strength of the Netherworld White Tiger and Su Xiao, as well as the dual support of Oscar and Ning Rongrong. The game begins. As the referee gave the order, both sides started to move. No one interfered with the battle between the brothers and sisters. Su Xiao, Tang San and Nangong Yu, with the help of Ning Rongrong and Oscar, quickly defeated the other 5 people from the Star Luo Royal Academy. After Dai Mubai and Davis had a soul skill battle, Dai Mubai used his own soul skill, Tiangong Giant Brass Sword, which completely made up for the disadvantage in soul power. Zhu Zuqing and Zhu Zuyun were agile attack spirit masters. Whoever was faster would have the advantage. Even though Zhu Zuqing's spirit power was not as good as Zhu Zuyun's, he was not at a disadvantage. What follows is a battle between the Netherworld White Tigers. If there were double increases from Ning Rongrong and Oscar, Davis and Zhu Zuyun would definitely lose. However, Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing insist on using their own strength. This is an unavoidable tradition in Xingluo. They will have to face it one day. In the end, Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing's Netherworld White Tiger evolved wings and powerfully defeated their brother and sister. As for the reason, what else could it be? The halo of the protagonist. However, Su Xiao and Tang San also had part of the credit for this. Without the immortal products provided by the 2 of them, Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing might not have been able to win even with Ning Rongrong and Oscar's increase. After defeating Star Luo Royal Academy, Shrek's opponent was the winner between Blazing Fire Academy and Tianshui Academy. The result was that Blazing Academy won. This is the 3rd time Shrek has faced Blazing Academy. But Kai Huo, under the leadership of Huo Wu and Huo Wushwang, chose to admit defeat directly. We are no match for Shrek. You should conserve your strength and concentrate on preparing for the finals, Huo Wu said. So Shrek successfully entered the finals. The other team in the finals will be the Wuhundian representative team and the Wangdu team led by Yu Tianong. Taking advantage of the time, Su Xiao and others happened to watch the game between the two teams. The originally strong Imperial fighting team was defeated by the Wuhundian representative team in just 3 minutes. All members of the Wuhun Palace are above the Soul Sect, and there are also 3 Soul Kings. Ning Rongrong said. Su Xiao and Tang San immediately noticed the 3 Soul Kings, Huliena, Xiaoyu and Yan. They were the golden generation of Wuhun Palace that Du Gubo once mentioned. Are you Lydia Su? Red-haired Yan challenged. Why should I call you Dad? Lydia Su's answer was extremely arrogant. It instantly aroused ridicule from everyone present, and Yan's face was scolded by Su Xiao with just one sentence. You are looking for death. Yan released the flames and wanted to attack Su Xiao but was stopped by Huliena who was traveling with him. Nana, Yan asked confused. The teacher said that hurting people is not allowed in Wuhun City. Huliena said coldly. Yan could only swallow the bad breath and said harshly, no one dares to be so arrogant in front of me. You will be miserable. Su Xiao spat contemptuously and said casually, oh wait. I heard you are an orphan. If you lose, just accept me as your father, ha ha ha. With his taunting ability at full capacity, Yan left angrily despite Xie Yu's obstruction, and finally yelled, whoever loses is his son. The corners of Su Xiao's mouth turned up and she said, okay, it's a deal. Su Xiao won this dispute completely. Although they had not yet fought against Wuhun Palace, the ridicule before the game made everyone in Shrek feel very good, even a little happy, and the tension was gone. You are going to be a mother at such a young age. Xiao Wu said with a smile. Nangong Yu blushed instantly and said shyly, Xiao Wu, what are you talking about? That is Lydia Su's son, what does it have to do with me? Look at how I will beat his son tomorrow. There were still 3 days before the start of the finals, and Shrek took the opportunity to study the strength of Wuhundian Academy. This is the information that the Imperial Fighter team acquired at the cost of serious injuries to all members. Xie Yu, the Martial Soul Moonblade, is the 50-level attack-type Battle Soul King, and is the strongest among the Golden Generation. Huliena, the Martial Soul Demon Fox, is the 50-level Control-type Battle Soul King, and is Xie Yu's sister. The 2 of them were able to use a Martial Soul Fusion technique, and the Imperial fighting team was defeated by this Martial Soul Fusion technique. Yan, the Fire Lord of Martial Spirits, is the 50-level Attack Spirit King. He can be ranked among the Golden Generation. This person should not be underestimated. In addition to the ultimate fire attribute, his martial spirit can also perform earth attribute defense, both offensive and defensive. Also worth noting, the other 4 are all soul sects of level 45 or above, 2 strong attack type soul sects, 1 agility type soul sect and 1 auxiliary type soul sect. Quote. Yu Xiaoging briefly introduced the information about the members of Wuhundian Academy. Shrek and others couldn't help but fell silent. Even the very nervous Ma Hongjun looked a little sad, although he was not on the main selection list this time. As for Lydia Su, she fell asleep in a daze. Stinky Xiao, Xiao Wu yelled before waking him up. Third brother and the others are studying tactics, but you are still sleeping. Seeing that Lydia Su was still as relaxed as before, others didn't know whether they were happy or worried. Don't worry, I heard everything the teacher just said. Su Xiao stretched out and stretched his muscles, and walked to Yu Xiaoging's side, obviously having something to say. Currently, the only known ones are Xie Yu and Huliena's martial soul fusion skills. According to the Imperial Fighter team, this martial soul fusion skill will release a burst of red mist, which will suppress the soul power, perception, and reaction power by at least half. Under such circumstances, the Royal Dou team will naturally be crushed, and what we can do now is to break through the red mist. Quote. When Xiao Wu saw Su Xiao who was just lazy, she started to analyze it seriously now, pretending to curl her lips and said with disdain, it's not in vain, if you have the ability, you can solve it. It depends on the mistress. Su Xiao snapped her fingers, and at the same time, a purple brilliance that was difficult for ordinary people to detect flashed in her eyes. Tang San instantly understood Su Xiao's intention and nodded in agreement. Breaking through the red mist is only temporary, but it's up to Xiao to escape from the red mist. Su Xiao turned her eyes to Oscar again. At this time, Dai Mubai suddenly said, but the red mist can follow Xie Yu and Huliena, so someone has to entangle them. The effect of the soul fusion skills of the two soul kings is already equivalent to that of the soul emperor. Su Xiao looked confident and replied, Boss Dai, I will hold Xie Yu and Huliena away, and Xiaosun, you guys will deal with the other 5 people outside the red mist. Although the martial soul fusion technique is powerful, it also consumes a very high amount of soul power. It can't be maintained for a long time. As for more details in the game, it will be arranged by Tang San, the core control spirit master of the team. Tang San details every node in detail. The tactics had been roughly decided. Yu Xiaogang asked everyone to go back to rest, but before leaving, he suddenly asked Su Xiao to stay, and this time he didn't call Tang San. Teacher, is there anything else? Su Xiao asked doubtfully. Hey, Yu Xiaogang sighed. Since Wuhun Palace has set its sights on you, Xiao, let's go all out in this final. Wuhun Palace will most likely find a way to kill you, such as in that weird red mist. According to Du Gubo, even he, as a titled Duluo, cannot completely see through the red mist. Only those with peak soul power or mental power can see through it. The only person watching the finals can do this is the Pope, so. Yu Xiaogang's tone was full of doubts, but Lydia Su still smiled and acted very relaxed. Teacher, don't worry, victory must belong to us Shrek. At this moment, heavy footsteps suddenly came from behind Su Xiao, and he turned his head warily for the first time. He was a strong man wearing a black robe, and his body revealed an indescribable vicissitude. Uncle Hao. Su Xiao recognized the other person at a glance. It was Tang Hao, whom he had not seen for 7 years. I'll go find the mistress right away, Su Xiao said excitedly. Tang Hao waved his hand and signaled Su Xiao to come first. He took off his cloak. Tang Hao's face, which he hadn't seen for 7 years, had more wrinkles, but he was more determined. He was not at all the drunkard blacksmith Su Xiao had imagined. This is my uncle Haoshan, the Haoshan Duluo who killed the Pope with one hammer. Tang Hao pressed his hand on Su Xiao's shoulder, releasing soft soul power to test Su Xiao's cultivation. I'm about to break through level 46. I'm not lazy. Tang Hao looked at Su Xiao with satisfaction. Su Xiao, who had always been shameless, felt a little shy when she was suddenly praised by Tang Hao. Uncle Hao, the mistress is not bad, I will go find him right away. Tang Hao shook his head and said, Xiao, I came here specifically to find you. Because of me, Xiaosun should be more dangerous than you. But your strength has made Wuhun Palace feel threatened, especially you and Landian. The Tyrannosaurus sect has an indescribable relationship. Uncle Hao, don't worry, those guys from the Golden Generation in Wuhun Palace can't beat me. Su Xiao said confidently. Tang Hao nodded and said, it is true that the soul fusion skills of the 2 soul kings can't do anything to you, Xiao, but you must be cautious in everything, and your sharp temper must be changed. Su Xiao knew that she was indeed too arrogant, but if a young man is not arrogant, can he still be called a young man? Xiao, your 3rd soul skill can be condensed into various forms. Did you condense the clear sky hammer when you fought Zhao Wuji? Tang Hao asked. Yes, Uncle Hao. Possessed by Su Xiao's martial spirit, he used the Holy Light Divine Dragon transformation and soon condensed a pale golden Haoshan hammer in his hand. However, its original deep and dim pattern was under the influence of the bright Holy Dragon martial spirit. Below, it has turned into an illusory dragon pattern. Apply soul power to increase its weight to 500 kilograms. Tang Hao made a new request. As Su Xiao transferred soul power into the Haoshan hammer, it soon reached the 500 kilograms that Tang Hao said, and since it was his own soul power, he held it in his hand without any burden. How long can this state last? Tang Hao asked. About 3 hours. Due to the special ratio of Su Xiao's soul rings, his soul power is deeper and he can maintain this state for a long time. Tang Hao's eyes were full of expectation. He turned to Yu Xiaogang and said, Master, I will take Xiao away first. I will bring him back safely in the finals. Yu Xiaogang naturally agreed to Tang Hao's request, and only said that Su Xiao wanted to retreat to improve his soul power. 3 days later, the finals of the Continental Senior Soul Master Academy competition officially began. Although only a group of big names could watch the competition, this matter was also a hot topic of discussion in Wuhun City. After all, the champion will receive 3 10,000-year soul bones as a reward. Although the previous champions are all teams sent by Wuhun Palace, challenging the strong ones has always been the focus of everyone's attention. Master, where is Xiao? Will there be any problems with him in seclusion? Nangong Yu asked worriedly. Yu Xiaogang was speechless for a moment. Tang Hao came to Wuhun City without even telling Tang San. Naturally, he didn't want anyone to leak his whereabouts. Invite players from both sides to enter, the referee announced. Everyone in Wuhandian Academy has been waiting for a long time. Judging from their casual appearance, it seems that the champion has already won. Everyone in Shrek frowned slightly, not because they were afraid of Xie Yu and others, but because Su Xiao was not here. As the sharpest spear in Shrek, Su Xiao is arrogant, but his relaxed attitude always makes others calm down. The Wuhandian and Shrek teams were divided into 2 lines and entered at the same time, but there were only 6 people in Shrek's team. The missing person is obviously the much-anticipated Su Xiao. As the Pope, Bibi Dong stood at the highest point holding a scepter and asked majestically, "Shrek, you only sent 6 people." No one answered at the scene. Yu Xiaogang was still waiting. The referee watched for a while and said, "Shrek, please send a substitute." "Master, how about I join?" Ma Hongjun volunteered. He has strong explosive power and can barely take over Su Xiao's position. "Wait a moment," Yu Xiaogang said calmly. Flanders and others didn't know where Su Xiao had gone. At this time, they could only hope that Su Xiao would arrive in time. Suddenly, a dragon roar resounded over Wuhun City. I saw golden light flashing, and a figure appeared in the center of the venue, facing Pope Bibi Dong. "Where the soul power is flying, Shrek lives forever." Su Xiao smiled charmingly, as if full of provocation, which immediately aroused dissatisfaction among everyone in Wuhun Hall. However, Bibi Dong stopped them and announced, "Now that everyone is here, let's start the game." The 2 sides set up their formations, possessed by martial spirits, and the shining martial spirits rose from the soles of their feet. The most powerful ones released were undoubtedly the 5 10,000-year spirit rings on the field, from Su Xiao, Tang San and Xie Yu, Huliena and Yan, who were known as the Golden Generation. With the referee's signal, the final officially began. The second soul skill, Fox Charm. Huliena released her pale pink soul power, drawing a silky trajectory in the air, surrounding everyone in Shrek. This is a group charm soul skill, and it is also the key to Huliena's demon fox spirit as a control soul master. Su Xiao and Tang San were not affected, while Nangong Yu and the other 5 people closed their eyes and covered their ears. In Shrek, the second soul skill of Xiao Wu, who is watching the battle, is also charm, so a method to break it is provided. Charm soul skills are triggered by perception, but Huliena's charm is triggered by hearing and vision, so you can only avoid it by closing your eyes and plugging your ears. Xiao Wu explained. But Su Xiao and Tang San's mental strength are not afraid of Huliena's charm at all. The 2 of them both released their mental power, breaking Huliena's control and preventing everyone in Wuhun Hall from taking the upper hand. Seeing this, the soul powers of Xie Yu and Huliena began to slowly merge, and at the same time, the auxiliary soul master's golden scepter of Wuhun Palace also released a large amount of soul power. The 4th soul skill, the Imperial Edict of Light. With the help of the golden scepter, Xie Yu and Huliena instantly completed the martial soul fusion technique without giving Shrek the chance to interrupt. Martial soul fusion skill, Demon. When the light dissipated, a man in black armor, wearing a black fox mask and holding a moon blade appeared. At the same time that the charm was coming, a red mist quickly spread out and enveloped Shrek, and with the increase of the golden scepter, the scope of the red mist became even larger. "Mistress, follow the plan," Su Xiao reminded immediately. Tang San decisively released blue-silver grass and wrapped it around the waists of Su Xiao and the others. The red mist released with the demon as the center is like a swamp. Once it is stuck, it is extremely difficult to break free. Moreover, due to the suppressive effect of the red mist, Mei Mei will have an absolute advantage in the red mist. But Shrek had already been prepared for the red mist. Under the guidance of Tang San's blue-silver grass, Nangong Yu, Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing protected Ning Rongrong and Oscar in the middle. At the same time, Oscar kept chanting the soul curse. Dang dang. Two sounds of metal colliding sounded. At this moment, the shining moon blade in the demon's hand was tightly held by Su Xiao. Isn't this possible? You can actually see through my attack. The demon's masculine voice said in surprise. The demon will not be affected in the red mist. When he saw Su Xiao's disdainful expression, the demon once again exerted his strength. At the same time, Tang San used controlling cranes to capture dragons, and using blue-silver grass as a link, he took the 5 people except Su Xiao and left the red mist directly. The moment they escaped from the red mist, Yi Nangongyu and Dai Mubai used their enhanced soul skills to prepare for a counterattack. Yao Mai realized at this moment that besides Su Xiao, Tang San would not be affected by the red mist. Giving up the entanglement with Su Xiao, the demon moved again, rushing directly in the direction of Tang San and others, and the red mist spread again in an instant. Except for the location of the other 5 people in Wuhun Hall, the entire venue was shrouded in red mist. A demonic and strange voice sounded in the red mist, "You can't escape unless you can fly." At this time, Su Xiao used the purple demon eyes to find the location of the demon. He suddenly raised his right fist and shouted, "You are really a great prophet." Holy Light Dragon Transformation. This punch condensed Su Xiao's majestic soul power. The demon could only overlap the 2 moon blades to resist. She did not expect that Su Xiao could still have such strength under the suppression of the red mist. In an instant, thin crystal wings appeared behind Tang San and others, and they rushed into the sky at extremely fast speeds, leaving the scope of the red mist. Yu Mei also understood what Su Xiao meant by the prophet. The monster said through gritted teeth. In the Wuhun Palace's intelligence, it was not discovered that Oscar, as a food soul master, could actually give other people the ability to fly. Seeing such a situation, even Bibi Dong, who was watching the battle, was a little surprised. After flying out of the red mist, Nangongyu, Tang San, Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing launched a counterattack under the amplification of Ning Rongrong's 9 treasure glazed tower and Oscar's exciting pink sausage. Su Xiao, on the other hand, held the demon alone. Su Xiao knew that the demon consumes a lot of soul power, and the opponent would definitely use all his strength until the martial soul fusion skill could no longer be maintained, so Su Xiao did not intend to hold back. Dragonization. Even in the red mist, the soul power released by the Holy Dragon of Light still shines, and Su Xiao's forearm is covered with a layer of pale golden dragon scales. The amplifying effect of dragon transformation has offset the suppression of red mist. At the same time, 3 sharper and slender claws appeared on Su Xiao's right hand. The external soul bone from the 10,000-year-old dark gold terraclaw bear. It's a soul bone. The demon shouted softly. Outside of the red mist, Tang San also deployed his 8 spider spears, killing the 5 yans as quickly as possible. The appearance of 2 soul bones caused everyone in Wuhun Hall to take a breath of air. This was completely beyond their intelligence. Su Xiao and Tang San, who had played frequently in previous games, thought they had a good understanding of their methods, but they didn't expect that they actually had soul bones as a trump card that could reverse the situation. Su Xiao transformed the Holy Light Dragon into the external soul bone, and the golden halo perfectly matched the 3 golden claws. Sky-tearing claw. He uses soul bone skills directly, and they are strengthened by the Holy Light Dragon transformation. According to Su Xiao's judgment, Yao Mei's strength should be around level 63, but he has just broken through the threshold of the Soul Emperor. Even if he doesn't use ring fusion, such an extreme increase can defeat him. The power carried by the sky-tearing claw has also reached the level of the Soul Emperor, and Zhao Wuji, the so-called immovable king, has personally tested it. The monster was also aware of the threat of the sky-tearing claw, and had to raise 2 moon blades at the same time to resist it. Even so, it felt a bit strenuous, and could only buffer the power by going backwards. Just one move of tearing the sky claw has already forced the demon into a desperate situation. Bibi Dong, the only one in the audience who could see through the battle in the red mist, couldn't help but widen her eyes, and then looked sideways at Yu Xiaogang. You are only 13 years old and you have already reached the 46th level. You still have so many trump cards. This is the disciple you have trained. You may realize that something was wrong. With the massive consumption of soul power, she was no longer able to defeat Su Xiao. What's more, Su Xiao at least still had ring fusion and that special combat skill that he hadn't used yet. If it drags on any longer, not only will it fail to kill Su Xiao, it will even ruin the entire game. Full moon. The demon put the 2 moon blades behind her back, as if she was accumulating strength. This is Xie Yu's self-created soul skill. He once defeated a level 68 soul emperor with this skill. In his opinion, Yuan Yu has no flaws. And now that he has unleashed Yuan Yu as a demon, he is confident that he can defeat a soul saint. No matter how strong Su Xiao is, he cannot surpass the soul saint. Even if Su Xiao devotes all his soul power to using the fusion ring, he will faint from exhaustion. Even if he is not killed, he can still maintain the undefeated myth of Wuhun Palace. The monster's body began to twist and spin, like a tornado that could destroy everything. The extremely sharp moon blade melted into it, and the originally diffuse red mist converged towards the rotating vortex. Su Xiao frowned slightly. The magic of love turns in circles. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.